ladies and gentlemen, lads and ladettes, it's time for some StarCraft! Yeah, and tonight we're going with GoOdy and Showtime, both guys from ESC, but enough about that. Let's talk about the players in the game itself. Here we are, or I thought we are, yeah. Now this is the new map called Black Hole, on which you're not very much able to see anything around your base, behind the cliffs, and you need to wait for your opponent to actually text you. Okay, I have spawned in the north position. I think it's so dark out here, but hey, we have the game all right, and let's get started. My name is Yegwen. Some of you know me. And I'll be your host for tonight. So let's introduce the players. Here we have one of the recent additions to the team ESC Icy Box. He is Showtime. And what a nickname at that. And on the other side of the map we have spawning, of course, as the blue Terran, full of steel of fury. He is GoOdy from the same team. So as you can imagine, both of these guys are playing for the same team. And this is going to be a friendly show match between the two of them, in which they will try to impress us with their skills and attitude towards game. And as we know, the attitude towards game also translates to attitude towards life. So let's see what they decide to start with. Protoss versus Terran recently has undergone some very decent changes with the nerf of the Hellbat. The Hellbat drop has used to be an extremely powerful play in Terran versus Protoss, or in pretty much Terran versus anything. But recently the cargo space of Hellbats carried by Medivacs has been changed from 2 up to 4, and right now you can only carry 2 big-ass Hellbats in a single Medivac. Thus, the whole opening with a Hellbat drop kinda, well, it got weaker. It's still strong, it's still a very good way to start off, but it's not as all hell breaks loose as it used to be. And we saw GoOdy starting with a very early refinery, even before Raxes, and that indicates some very early tech play. Now we will see, is this going to be some Reaper play, or more like it, something that has grew to be a nuisance as of late, a proxy factory with some Widow Mines. And this is actually something that's very strong against Protoss, because Protoss has to go for a detection, and Widow Mines, as you know, are basically little talibs that burrow underground with a bazooka, and from time to time, to be exact, you know, every 45 seconds they just fire a freaking RPG at you. So and you need detection to find that out, and therefore recently players have been doing a proxy factory sometimes in places like this, in your opponent's main, sometimes behind, and then just fly by. We will see what happens, we will see what GoOdy goes for. Of course, this can also be a normal factory and then play straight into Hellbats, which I think may be the case. So anyway, options are open for GoOdy. Anyway, we will see, and that's for certain, some very early aggression from that player before he goes expand. Now, in regards to Showtime, let's see what he opts for. He already is scouting the map, wants to check a very good scouting, although a little bit sloppy. He didn't check this side, and we have an Automaton 2000 hiding here. How are you doing, mate? Yeah, so small, so fancy, but then you have been missed by the scout. And we have 2 Widow Mines, so GoOdy is starting defensively with Widow Mines. This is kinda weird, and he's going for a starpod, so I know what's going on. He's going to go for Widow Mine drops, and that's another viable sort of play. And anyway, this is why we love Heart of the Swarm so much. There are so many options. It is not straight, yeah, he took gas at 14, this must mean he's going strategy X or Y and Z. No, now we have a dozen of different options to go for, and especially in the beta stage and early months after the release, before anything gets written down in stone. And before that happens, let's get back to the game itself. We have a Nexus going down here at the expansion for the Protoss. There already is a Mothership Core. Now, very interestingly, Showtime isn't using Mothership Core to harass. I have seen many players over the past month using that for harass. As soon as it went out of the Nexus, it thought, yeah, well, I feel pretty strong. I don't feel threatened by Marines, and many players have been using Mothership Core to harass Terran in early game, but we see Showtime is playing a little bit more defensively. So I wonder what does he has in stock for us. Then we have a robotic facility which is going for an observer, and as you know guys, as I explained with the Widow Mines, observer is, well, I wouldn't like to say mandatory, but with such popular one-base play from Terran, observer is something you need to go for. And as you can see, Showtime already saw that there is a factory, so Widow Mines are a viable threat. And we will see how it goes. 2 Hellions, not Hellbats, Hellions. There is no armory. And 2 Widow Mines, and we will see how it goes. Oh, the Observer is leaving the base. Oh my god, the Nexus has retargeted for a Hellion. And oh my god, so many workers killed in this attack. 10 workers with a single blow. Oh my god, this is not at all how Showtime wanted to picture it. Let's check the worker count. We have 23 versus 28, so in fact Showtime isn't looking as bad as it may seem. He's kinda okay if he defends this Hellion, and he should be easily able to do this. Now the situation we see, Medivac escaping with red health, is something which we see quite often recently with the addition of the speed boost towards Medivacs. It's so easy to escape. And Showtime just needs to be careful. He has 2 bases, so he has the economical advantage. No reason to be afraid. The worker count is now equal. Of course, Terran has the mules, so that's a little bit of an extra income. But then Showtime doesn't have a reason to be worried. So I guess GoOdy's opening, where he tried to go for the Widow Mine drop, worked okay. It has dealt enough damage to level up the play and put him as the aggressive side to give them the initiative in the game. So it's all good for him. Goody goodness, as we could say. Now, since we'll be having a little bit of a downtime, guys, let me tell you about the contest that is happening right now on our channel. If you go to Team Liquid and you leave a comment about our stream, about how you like the show, about how much you love or hate my commentary, just give me some feedback and leave it on our thread on Team Liquid, you may win a copy of Heart of the Swarm. We have a lot of them in stock for you just as soon as the game launches, so we strongly encourage you to do. And the contest will be going on and on and on, and we believe every 2 weeks we'll be having a copy just for the people who give us feedback and help us to get better at StarCraft. And I'm saying us, not because I'm suffering from schizophrenia. I say us because I'm the type of a guy who just feels a part of the group. And you must know that Jägerist TV is not a single person show. This is a lot of people in the background that are making this happen, and for that I love them. So anyway guys, back to the game itself. We have a Twilight Council and a single forge. Single forge is not something you can often see in Protoss versus Terran. Usually people go for 2 forges, and having double upgrades is kinda standard, but we will see what is the plan of Showtime. He's most definitely having a show in stock for us. He's going for Blink. Mind you guys, that Blink research has been increased recently. But hey, let's see what happens. Now a very smart pylon placement, which will let know to Showtime, okay, there's a drop coming on your way, and thank you very much for that information. I'll be able to block it. If not, then hey, I was not paying attention to the minimap. Now GoOdy playing very defensively, as he usually does, with the addition of all the Heart of the Swarm options. Even if you are playing defensively, and even if you are facing an opponent who plays defensively, there is still a ton of things for you to do, and this is what makes this game so awesome. We have a Medivac loaded in stock with 2 huge ass Hellbats, and we will see how much damage does that manage to do. Not too much, it seems, so thank you very much, take good care, and see you later, alligator. Now Showtime is Showtime is going for the third, so he's kinda... I like his style. He's trying to stay ahead in expansions, ahead of GoOdy, and that gives him the advantage, that gives him the edge. Now, GoOdy, of course, usually has a very strong army composition, and he's the mastermind when it comes to unit placement during battles. So So I can expect that right now, if we check the army supply, yes, GoOdy seems to be ahead, and he's also taking a rather late expansion for a Terran. But then Showtime is moving out to attack that position now. Will GoOdy be able to defend that? It seems so. He has a very good army composition, lots of Hellbats, lots of siege tanks, and a couple of Marines to support that. And Showtime, seeing it, thinks, yeah, well, yeah. I think I have better plans for tonight than just losing my whole freaking army trying to take down this expansion. Maybe I'll try to approach you from a different angle, mate, and that may work even better. So Showtime just trying to find a hole in the defenses of GoOdy, which is always very difficult. GoOdy is one of these players who, when you try to approach them, you better give it a second thought. You need to always consider, okay, this is GoOdy. It is not a random guy I'm playing, this is not a random guy from the ladder. No, this is GoOdy, and he's always been known to have great defenses around his base. So what is the best angle I approach him with? What is the angle that he is the least expecting to get attacked from? And that probably is the angle, my friend, that I want to attack myself. Now Showtime moving out with his army, 2 Archons to support this this heavy mix of units. This is not something you see usually, but we will see how it works. War Prism with 4 Zealots, so this attack will just be a distraction to try... Oh, and the War Prism gets spotted. Now we will see how this goes. Siege tanks are in position, so I'm sorry, not very good. Oh, yes! And a perfect mass recall, although the mothership has paid for it with its own dear life. But then most of the units get saved, and this is exactly what we'll be seeing more and more in Protoss versus pretty much anything, with the addition of mass recall on mothership core. Because you'll be able to attack and say, yeah, mech, well, let's just get back to the base, and then you'll be able to use the mass recall. You won't lose too many units. You'll just be able to try if you can force the opponent, and this even more signifies. Oh my God, this angle of engagement is so good for Showtime right now. I could not express it, but then GoOdy has managed to save the day. Let's see how the upgrades are. GoOdy is not upgraded at all. His siege tanks are with +1. Oh my God, this is not looking good for Showtime. Anyway, I was expecting GoOdy to be on some heavy upgrades, but no. Showtime is in fact more and more upgraded than GoOdy. Siege tanks are kind of out of position, and I can see them being ripped apart in a matter of seconds. The Vikings don't really stand a chance against Void Rays in direct combat. They need to use guerrilla fighting methods, and oh, such a nice line of Widow Mines. All the Zealots get ripped apart. There's even a Dark Templar trying to get a part of the GoOdy bag, but doesn't manage to get too much. Now we'll see. Yeah, I think Showtime has it. Even though he has lost his expansion, he has managed to deal a lot of damage to his enemy, and right now he has... no, he doesn't. He doesn't have the army advantage. Oh my God. So GoOdy's production is so through the roof right now. After such a battle, when Showtime destroyed most of GoOdy's forces, he is still ahead. This is how good GoOdy is. And you can do a lot of workplace when you're casting a game of GoOdy. So right now, Showtime just trying and sees... Oh, not so good. Not so good for me. I need to back away. And he has enough immortals in his army not to be worried about too much, not to be fussed too much with mech. On top of that, he's adding Tempests, and Tempests are... It's one of the units that hasn't really been figured out in Protoss versus Terran yet. Initially, it had splash damage. Then you know, there was a bonus damage introduced for massive units. But it doesn't really work against battlecruisers if they are supported by Ravens. Ravens soak up all the damage with the point defense drones, and you know, Tempest is kinda one of these, well, it may work or it may not units right now in Heart of the Swarm, and I'm very happy to see how players experiment with it. This is one of the other things that Heart of the Swarm has introduced. So much freshness. I feel that there's someone with a bag of Mentoses around, There's so much fresh air around Heart of the Swarm and around StarCraft right now. All thanks. Oh my god, so many Widow Mines. I never expected I'm going to say it. And if they burrow at the right spot, oh, they try, but they can't catch the Mothership Core with their mass recall. Where is it? Where are you, my dear little friend? Not so far away. And GoOdy burrowing some of them. A War Prism going this way, and there's also one run by with a Dark Templar. Yeah, specifically one Dark Templar to be exact. And GoOdy is on the offensive. This Nexus is most likely going to fall. Now Showtime has to think about how he is going to approach his defensive, and it doesn't really look like he is able to manage a longer term goal, a longer term game. GoOdy has such a strong force. This is, you know, this is a trait of any mech force in general, that you have very expensive units. It takes a lot of time to build your own army, but when you hit hard. You hit with a rock or with a brick. Anyway, you hit so hard that it's difficult for the opponent to pick up the pace of the game. And the Tempests are now spread out. I think Showtime is trying to intercept some of the reinforcements. By the way, GoOdy found about this location of the Stargates. I'm not really sure why Showtime went for these hidden Stargates. It makes sense in the early game, but in the late game it just doesn't make too much sense. There's a Dark Templar drop still going in the main, but I think that GoOdy is all fair and square and all very happy about where he is right now. Has left a dozen at least. Yeah, exactly a dozen of Widow Mines here. Now just leaving 2 behind, and they are asking, why me? Why me? Why have you left me here? Well, yeah, you just look slightly odd. Slightly green, yellow tint to your face, this is why. Okay, makes sense. And GoOdy just moving around, trying to stabilize the game, and again, like I said before, GoOdy is one of these guys. Oh my god, a Void Ray and a Tempest, if I was not mistaken, has just gone down due to these 2 Widow Mines. So GoOdy is showing us how to play with Widow Mines. It's the first time I see someone using these many Widow Mines, and they actually make sense in this composition. We have a couple of Taurs, not too much, just 5. We have a bunch of Vikings to deal with the Air Force, and oh my god, these guys don't even manage to fire off, and so many Widow Mines go down right now alongside with the High Templars. And will these storms be enough to defend this position? GoOdy on the offensive, and ESC Showtime trying to defend this, and he barely holds, and there are still 5-6 stars in the background which are now escaping. I'm not sure this is the right thing to do, but hey, this is GoOdy. He has his own mind. Yeah, he was just luring them into this minefield, and oh my god, GoOdy looking so strong. Although Showtime and his ability to hold all of that is just amazing. Now there's another expansion for the Protoss going down, and Showtime being relentless with his Dark Templar harassment, although, yeah, not really working against a planetary fortress with a tower nearby. Sorry, my mate. And GoOdy doing another run by. Oh, so many probes being killed. Widow Mines are such a worker killer. There probably will be at some point in time a convention against usage of such heavy force against workers, because these creatures are, you know, they are innocent. They haven't even threw a rock at the opponent, not swung a club, and they are still ripped apart. Oh, very sneaky 2 High Templars, and will they fire up a storm? One does, the second one tries to, yeah, but it isn't the damage that Showtime needs right now. We'll see how it goes, and you know, Showtime positioning himself, but the Viking count is just ripping through these Tempests. There are so many Immortals at the ground, and they just may do the trick. This is so intense. They barely hold it, and again Showtime not losing this game, just barely withstanding all the relentless attacks that GoOdy is throwing at him. And again, this will take time. This will take GoOdy time to rebalance his army, to reproduce all of these units, and it's not looking good for him. You know, GoOdy seems to be on advantage right now, but if we take a look at the losses, GoOdy, with having the advantage, has in fact lost more resources because he has been attacking so relentlessly, and he has been throwing a force after a force after a force of his assaults in the face of Showtime, and each time Showtime just barely held it, but hey, he held it effectively. So if he manages to establish an economy back, he may still win this game, and that actually would be awesome to see. So so we'll see. Now Showtime trying to walk around, just oh, not so good. Widow Mines against Protosses, they are so strong. I dread the day, because I'm quite sure it will happen someday. I dread the day where I will be moving my force of, I don't know, Archons, High Templars, whatever, the most expensive unit you can imagine that you have in your army, and you need to have it in order to win, and someday I will just be marching that across the map, then I will click the hotkey, and oh my god, why are these workers being ripped apart? So many of them killed, and this shouldn't have happened. Only 2 Hellbats? By the way, the fact that Hellbats are getting healed by Medivacs makes me think that if you would teach your siege tanks how to dance and raise up their skirts, maybe they would be healed too, because this is how much sense it makes for a transformed Hellbat to be healed. But hey, GoOdy dropping another one, and I think this may have just won him the game. We have been talking about how powerful Hellbat drops are no longer in the early game, but in the late game they are still so strong, because you don't know one of them on a specific timing. No, you just drop them all around the place, and your opponent is very much fast with one of them, while the others just barbecue their way around your worker line, and that's so much not cool. Another Medivac filled with Hellbats. Why not? Why not? Someone on the chat says, I don't know what's worse. Is it Hellbats or Widow Mines? And GoOdy takes the victory, because Showtime, after recalculating his chances in this game, decides that, hey, there is no way I'm going to win this after losing so many workers in so many places at once. This has went terrible, and I have suffered terrible losses. So so hey, now let me just get back to you in a minute after I talk with the players. This is going to be a best of 9, and I think it should say that in the overlay. Oh my god, why don't I have an admin for this? I should have a servant like Batman. I would be able to talk in this dark voice. Yes, Alfred, you should take care of the overlay. Okay, okay, master, I will. Best of 9, here we are, and here it says, thank you very much. Alright, so anyway guys, I'll be back with you in a second after a 2-minute commercial break. Don't go anywhere, you're watching GoOdy TV. Anyway guys, I also wanted to remind you that there's a contest ongoing right now just for you. Just because we love you so much, and just because you help us so much in becoming a better team, helping me become a better caster if you go to our thread on Team Liquid, on my stream thread on Team Liquid, and you drop your feedback. Say, Yegwen, I hate you, you are so handsome. That's okay. That's the sort of a feedback I will accept boldly. If you do that, you just have a chance to win a copy of Heart of the Swarm. For this year only, we have around 30 copies in stock just for you guys, just for you who are watching and dropping comments all around the place with your feedback and helping us to become better. So I strongly encourage you to go to Team Liquid and drop a comment. That's so important for us. That's so important, very important. Oh, I can't even stress how important it is. This is why we have copies of Heart of the Swarm, because I'm not very good at stressing how important something is. Alright, so the game is up, the game is loading alright. This is going to be New York City, and if I could sing, I could say... no, I'm not going to go through this. This is too embarrassing. I'm sorry, I'm not yet confident enough to start singing on a live show. I'm so terrible at singing. I'm quite sure that if I started to sing, and I'm not going to take this bet, at least half of you would leave the stream. So no singing, guys. But then let's introduce the players, and here we are. It is ESC Showtime, spawning in the bottom right corner of the New York City. And here he is shiny, he is metal, he has balls of steel and a lot of goody goodness. He is of course GoOdy from Team ESC. So we'll see how it goes. The first game was quite epic. In my personal ranking, I would give it around, on a scale to 10, probably around 8. But then most of Heart of the Swarm games look like that, and this is why we love this expansion so much. So many things happening. And GoOdy, it seems, going for the same sort of opening. The only difference may actually be this proxy factory, so he will still go for Widow Mines, I'm quite sure. Earlier in beta, we have saw some early Reaper play with a gas before racks, but right now it's just in 99 cases out of 100. It is a factory. It used to be a Hellbat drop, now it's a Widow Mine drop. Now the only difference that may happen is if the factory gets placed here, then flies over here, just, you know, he will take a little stroll around the New York City, of course, with all the neons. He may drop to a bar, and then he will land his factory here, badass attitude written all over his face, and produce a couple of Widow Mines. And it's actually extra hard to deal with. One of the main ways of dealing with Widow Mines is just trying to stay as far away from them as possible. So if you see a Widow Mine, you jump in and try to attack it, and then what it will do, of course, is it will burrow itself in the sand, just like a little terrorist with a bazooka, and or like Fremen from Dune, if any of you have read the Dune book novel by Frank Herbert. But anyway, it will burrow itself, and it will shoot one of your units. So if you micro properly, you will probably use only one of your units, and then you are able to move back. So you will just give yourself more time to get detection, and you need to babysit that Widow Mine as long as possible and try to minimize your losses. Of course, one of the methods that are not so yet popular, but I think will be when playing against mass Widow Mines, is hallucinating probes, because I'm not sure if you know, guys, but now sentries get the hallucination upgrade right away, right off the bat, as soon as they leave the gateway, and you are able to use that to hallucinate 4 probes, and 4 probes just seem like the exact cannon fodder you need to take down Widow Mines, and that's That's pretty much it. So we'll see. Now this scout is getting barbecued. Now we'll see one other thing. Oh, GoOdy, you bad boy, you haven't played a starport. So GoOdy in fact won't be going for a Widowmine play. He's well, he is going for a Widowmine play, but not offensively. He's going to use that for his own defenses. Or is he? And this is one of the Hitchcock movies moments. Now, it was the butler. No, it wasn't. It was the maid. But GoOdy, it seems, is going for an expansion and will just use Widow Mines for his own protection. So remember guys, always stay protected. And this is the safest way to play StarCraft 2 as well as... yeah, you know what. So GoOdy just securing the map, and he has been playing this this game with his opponent's head, which says, okay, I'm going to attack you, my friend. And behind that he just expands. So his opening had all the signs of early aggression, and instead he's going to expand, and even, oh my god, he's going for a ninja. Yay. So I love this play from GoOdy. Now the question is, you know, this is something you may see on ladder. It's a very risky way of playing. Ninja expands are funny to see. If you manage to escape with one, that's cool. I mean, that's great for you, but then it is so damn dangerous taking that on the side of the map that belongs to your opponent that I would be wary about risking that. But hey, anyway, we have a Phoenix now, hallucinated Phoenix, one very important addition to Protoss's ability to scout. And he sees everything. He sees an expansion, he sees, okay, not too many production buildings. Now, with 3 bases running, and I imagine this base will be mostly used for mules. With 3 bases running, GoOdy will get a huge inject of minerals and gas, and that will allow him to just bounce off the level where he is right now to a whole new level of production, and he will get many production facilities in a second. And I can already see that Showtime will be surprised by that, because he saw, yeah, there is a factory, there's an expansion, so he kind of gets the feeling, okay, this is the size of the army I'm going to deal with. And if he saw this expansion, he would go for a third himself, or he would just go and straight up destroy this. But hey, anyway, he didn't see it, so he's playing 2 base, and he's still convinced that he is playing against 2 base. And the GoOdy behind that is still not showing a lot. So in terms of buildings, where are the structures? I know there are structures here. Yeah, thank you on T. Structures, yeah, T. Makes as much sense as a pylon on E. Yeah, or even more, because there's actually the T letter in a word structure and not so far from the start. So we have a factory and a starport and 1 barracks. So GoOdy right now with a very small force of buildings and very small production capabilities, but with the Widow Mines and siege tanks, he's more than able to defend whatever Showtime has to throw at him. And in the meanwhile, he's gathering enough minerals to start and just jump with the production and hijack the game. And 3 factories adding up to 4. There's a starport with a reactor going down on it, and only 1 Raxus, so we won't be seeing too many Marines in this game. And armory, which means upgrades, of course. GoOdy, goodness, and good upgrades. And we'll see what happens now. Another Phoenix, and this Phoenix has saw it all. Ah, I know what you have under your Scottish skirt. I know what you're hiding there, and yes, these are 4 factories, not something you would expect. And probably this is not yet going to trigger any overthinking on Showtime's side. He'll be thinking, yeah, he has 4 factories, kinda standard. Terran can afford 4 factories from 2 base, but I expect we'll be having a lot more production facilities quite soon. And Showtime also he is already thinking about securing this 3rd, and this is actually extra good, but he still doesn't know about this sneaky sneaky bastard on the top of the map, and a very solid play by Showtime, sending a Zealot with his probe, and this probe probably wasn't there to pick up minerals, but hey, so we're not... Oh, and this Zealot sees it all. Oh my god, you traitor. Yes, it was the Butler after all, and if this was a Scooby-Doo show, you would have something like Dr. Winston? When you found a person under the monster's mask, and GoOdy just trying to escape with his worker force, but I'm not sure many of them will make it to the other side of the map. No, only one SCV, and this SCV is going like right now because it just took all the air in the lungs that he had to escape this. And this expansion, very annoyingly, is just going to leave this place very safe, and even leave behind 2 refineries with some gas already exploited. Now, the problem this stands for GoOdy is he had a steady source of income, so it was a boost to his economy. Now he has more buildings in his own base that he can afford, and if Showtime is good about controlling this spot on the map, then GoOdy will not have enough minerals to maintain his store, siege tank, hellbats production. He will need to take an additional base, and he most likely will do it. Now, if Showtime is up to speed, if Showtime is the same caliber of a player that GoOdy is, he will now actively try to counter GoOdy taking any expansion. Now, if he manages to position his units perfectly, and it seems he will, a very smart Zealot, he would... Yeah, normally that Zealot would like to get a shovel for his Christmas gift, so he could burrow like Zerglings and be extra annoying, but no. And I just feel that Showtime, by getting this base, has gotten enough out of the position that GoOdy right now will be able to secure this expansion, no problem. And this was actually a very nice trick by GoOdy. If you know, if Showtime would wait and patiently scout when GoOdy is leaving, he could just catch him in the mid step. He could catch him, his whole army, out of the position, and that would be huge. Oh, there's good news for you guys. I will be having Jack Attack co-casting with me the next match, so let me just ping him. Yep. Woohoo! I don't mind that much solo casting, but having said that, I love co-cast with someone, and especially a person like Jack. So anyway, I'm not really sure I like this photon cannon placement. Yeah, and Showtime neither does it. So so he replaces that here. I'm not sure I like this either, but hey, I never was a designer, so so let's see how it goes for Showtime. And he's still actively positioning his army here to prevent any more expansions going for GoOdy. Now, what would be extra smart of Showtime would be to secure even another expansion for himself, and this is how you keep your economy flowing. And GoOdy right now with such a heavy force of siege tanks, Vikings and Thors, oh my god, I don't think that Showtime is going to handle this. He probably will use a mass recall as soon as the heat starts. Yeah, so where were we at? I just got distracted by my good friend Jack Attack, and you know how he is. That old pirate. A couple of marines being thrown at the Protoss just to free off the supply, because GoOdy right now is reaching the supply limit, and Showtime is doing a similar thing just with Zealots. What is the objective of this? I don't know, but it's working wonders right now. A couple of Hellbats are out of the position, a lot of workers have been killed, so hey, you know, nice return for a price of 4 Zealots. Now, so many siege tanks here. Yeah, he has to use the recall, and he manages to save pretty much everything. He has saved his whole army alongside with the mothership core, and that's just perfect. He already has started building a nexus down here, which is perfect for now, and that's it. So we are seeing another game of drones, or should we say game of probes and SCVs around here. Vikings being aggressive, trying to pick away on the mothership core, perhaps on the Void Race or Colossi. Anything would work really. And now, oh my god, Showtime is in this awkward spot where GoOdy is just able to march straight into He's natural and he will be able to secure a position here, and I'm not sure that Showtime will be able to reclaim this position, and this is looking so hard right now. A lot of Void Rays charge up and they just chum through metal like it was buttered, although the Vikings are hitting hard. And will it stand enough? The Void Rays are left, and they will be enough to clear down the siege tanks. Wow, the perfect transition time for Showtime, and he has, again, he barely had enough, although he suffers still from the same issue, which means losing too many SCVs on too many fronts. Wow, this battle has been intense, and I think that Showtime has won by a nick of time, and oh no! Oh, what? That was too close. In my opinion, that was way too close. On the other side of the map, we have a Warp Prism full of surprises. No, it's not a surprise, it's a Zealot. Remember, not a Zealot, a Zealot. When Mama and Papa Zealots were discussing how to name their newborn child, they were not thinking about naming it a Zealot, because Zealot is a name where kids at the Zealot school would just laugh at. So remember, guys, they are named Zealots because that's more manly, and this is what StarCraft is all about. Void Rays are just running around the map and trying to find a spot for them. GoOdy, again, positioning, giving us more of his goody goodness, and I think that joke is already growing old. I'm not even sure it was funny the first time, the first a dozen times. We need to start writing up jokes about players before the stream. That would actually be smart. And Showtime, and Showtime, he's just cool. He managed to win the battle of Jericho, and he managed to save his own Jericho. Now he's transitioning into Tempest, and we'll be seeing again how effective or ineffective that unit is. We will see how Showtime experiments with it, and how GoOdy defends. So a lot of this is just a lesson for us how to play StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm on the highest level. This is pretty much, guys, this is one of the last days of Heart of the Swarm beta. We'll be having a 2-week break now before the launch of the game itself. By the way, a total recall has been used. I wanted to say that a total recall has been used. No, it's just a mass recall. It's not total recall. It doesn't have Colin Farrell playing in it. But anyway, what I wanted to say, this is one of the last days of Heart of the Swarm beta, and this is pretty much how you'll be playing the game after it launches. So these guys have been practicing extra hard. Both of them are from the Grandmasters Leagues. They are top players in StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm, and you know, it's a very good lesson to see how they approach the game. And of course, GoOdy, always being known as the Panzer General, he is showing us how to play mech, and with so many new mech options, this is looking so strong. And the question is, will Showtime be able to chew on GoOdy's army again? Oh, well, no, it doesn't look very much like the last time he tried to deal with it. No, sorry. Too much losses, too much red, not enough green around. And for all of you color fans, you know, colors are good in general. But then, wow, Showtime just sends a wave of Zealots in mix, exploiting the fact that GoOdy has his torch right now set up on, what is this called, this mode? Don't destroy them, I want to select one, goddammit. It's called Explosive Payload, and the second one is something different. I still need to figure out the naming and how this one. And one Dark Templar still left here, trying to help defend, but hey. And as all good old Wytra said, we make expands, then defense it. So so this is what Showtime is trying to do. And on the other front, he's dropping with Dark Templars like crazy. Now, the reason why you guys are seeing so much Dark Templar play recently is that the Dark Shrine has become a lot cheaper. It still produces a very long while. It takes so much time to get it done, but it's cheaper, and it just made it a more viable option. And you know, if you're in a mid-game or an end-game scenario, you are not very much bothered by the cost of this building. You just get it, and then maybe you will experiment a bit. Just you know, dip your toe in the lake of possibilities, and see what happens. Now, Showtime just doing the long distance mining. Yeah, these workers need to be on Stimpack right now because there's a long distance they need to run. I can guess that from amongst them, one is the current Olympic champion in running, and one of them at least is the Olympic champion in carrying weight. So anyway, a nice positioning with Showtime's Tempests. Tempests have been called the flying siege tanks, but that's of course not true. They have a freakishly long range, but also what they don't have, you know, compared to siege tank, is any sort of splash damage. So this unit probably would be targeted as one of the first changes after Heart of the Swarm gets released. But hey, players are still trying to find out a way of how to deal with it and how to use it. Most importantly, this Nexus goes down. There's only a burning pile of rubble left here. And hey, another failure for Showtime. Now, Showtime is doing extremely good with the Dark Templar harassment. He's just being relentless about it. Such a persistent bastard. And you know, with so many Dark Templars, if you manage to spread them out thinly enough, I know that sounds weird, but if you spread them out thin around the opponent's base, he will be forced to use so many scans, and this is actually the way to play Dark Templars. You don't want 5 Dark Templars destroying one building because, oh, it looks so nice and it is so fast. No, you want to use them spread around, and you want them targeting different structures all around the opponent's base, so he needs to pay even more and more attention, and he needs to waste more and more APM on dealing with them. So, GoOdy, I will not use the old joke again. GoOdy just moving around. Up to no good. GoOdy's up to no good, and he probably will be trying to attack his enemy now. What I'm kind of curious about is why GoOdy is, you know, it's a 28-minute mark and GoOdy is still on very low upgrades. The Protoss has more upgrade levels right now than GoOdy has, and there probably is a concept behind that, but I just wonder what that concept is. Oh, all the Vikings are in the same spot. They suffer so much damage from the storms. Oh my god, this is actually huge. And Showtime again just clenching his fists and trying to defend it. And will the Tempest be enough? It seems there will. There's even a Stalker versus Thor duel on the ground, and the Thor has barely won with only 10 hit points, which on the scale of 400 is not too much, you would agree, I'm sure. And the Hellbats right now are just trying to wibble their toes and run away like little penguins. You see that? You see the same thing that I see? Yeah, I just see a bunch of little penguins making their way across the map. Now back to Showtime. Let's see what he has in his veins. Let's sum up the structures which are found under the letter T. He has 10 warp gates and 3 stargates. That's as far as his production goes. So, well, yeah, 10 warp gates is kind of okay at this stage of the game, but I'm not sure that will carry him through the whole way. On the other hand, with losing his expansions so often, probably he cannot afford to have more than that. But hey, we'll see. Now, GoOdy is doing pretty much the same that he has done the last game, even though with being harassed so often. And by the way, Showtime is doing so much better with the harassment this game. Even with being harassed all around the clock, GoOdy is still being very efficient about his expansions, being very efficient with his production, and he still keeps a very high army supply. And just to prove a point, let's check army supply. Yeah, we have 100. Now, the one thing I'm very curious about is GoOdy has been often criticized about his APM, which is unusually low for a pro player, but then with skills like GoOdy's, you just don't need to have that. And it seems, yeah, GoOdy is hanging on an average of 188. Wow, Showtime at 352 just on average. So I imagine with his very frequent drops and very frequent harassment, Showtime is just exploiting the GoOdy's lack of speed. I wouldn't say that's a lack of multitasking, because we saw upon many occasions that GoOdy has great multitasking, but then one may just argue that that GoOdy is one of the technical players, so he pays extra attention to where he places his units. He plays, you know, he's not one of the players that would click 5 times just to order a worker to do something. He's one of the guys who has a very crisp mechanics, and when he orders a thing done, then it gets done with 1 or 2 clicks, not too much extensive. So let's sum up the armies of both of these guys. 5 Tempests, 5 Stalkers, 2 Void Rays, 5 High Templars, and a lot of Zealots against Thors, Vikings, and Hellbats, all in the number around a dozen. So it doesn't really look good for the Protoss, especially that GoOdy right now has maxed out again. And oh yes, he's forcing the fight, although he needs to be careful. The Storms are so powerful against Vikings. They don't have too much health, and so many of them just get ripped apart. Although the same could be said about the Tempests, and oh yes, so many of the Skytos force get just ripped apart, and Showtime is running away, just throwing another bunch, and well, he's just throwing bunches of his Zealots as cannon fodder to try and protect his escape with the air units. And again, he lands in this awkward spot where his army is completely not where he wanted it. His army is very much out of the position, and GoOdy has a safe approach to one of his expansions. And this expansion will go down oh so quickly. And the same could be said about the workers. Now, oh, a nice little surround. I wouldn't say it's a huge surround, but still having units firing at the Thors from all the direction, I'm sure it does help. And even though GoOdy has lost another force, let's just see the army supply. Yeah, he is still ahead in army supply, and he's doing a Hellbat drop right now, or even a double Hellbat drop. Yeah, good old style for Hellbats. This cannon is not going to do a lot to them, and this very sexy Medivac pilot is very keen to heal on the Hellbats because they are the new sexy and hot units. So why not? So the game, well, by the way guys, this game is really intensive. If this would be the Wings of Liberty, I'm sure we would see some very exciting macro play. But Heart of the Swarm just has this element of surprise, has this element of constant struggle, and casting the games, by the way, is a blast. So I'll be casting much more for you guys. I just love it, and Heart of the Swarm is the deal breaker here. And now Showtime very smartly positioning one of his Dark Templars near the Xel'Naga Tower. Hey, that's always nice and safe. And he must be playing defensively. If you have a smaller army, then there are 2 things you can do. You can harass, and that's the case where you have much faster army than your opponents. But here we have 2 very slow and powerful armies, so neither of the players can afford a lot of harassment. GoOdy of course does it with the use of 2 Medivacs, but you know, it's he can't deal wondrous damage with that. He can just deal some damage, destroy a couple of workers, but in the grander scheme of things, I wouldn't say it doesn't matter, but it isn't as important as it would have been with let's say 3 or 4 drops at the same time. But that's not usually the GoOdy's playstyle. So Showtime, if I would be to sum up his play for what we have seen so far, he's very strong with the defensive, and he pretty much has the terrain figured out. So this is kind of a strange mix of units where you have some Void Rays, some Tempest, a couple of High Templars. This requires a lot of micro in the battles, I imagine, and then you just throw a bunch of Zealots. No! What have I just said? I said Zealots! Oh my god, I need to be punished. What I meant was, of course, Zealots. Now, you just throw a bunch of Zealots at your enemy, and they soak up the damage while you deal yours with the Tempest, with the Storms, and the charged up Void Rays. It's you know, it's something innovative, that can be said for sure. 2 Storms, yeah, kinda premature, but hey, StarCraft is all about explosions, so why not? And we have a huge approach. Showtime being extra careful with these High Templars, And charged up Void Rays is something you need to run away from, but GoOdy is not willing to do so, and he tries to take them head on, but not too many of the torch will be left there. Where are the High Templars? They are here, my good friend, and they will deal enough damage to take down all these Vikings. And it seems that Showtime, again with smaller size of his army, is still managing to hold to this game, and GoOdy is having a lot of trouble of chipping away at Showtime's defenses. That's extra cool, guys. GoOdy is with a superior army. I think what GoOdy is suffering from is the lack of upgrades, so he only recently has finished 2-2, and he's now finishing plus 3 weapons upgrade. So he's doing them one at a time, if I'm not mistaken. There is not another armory on the map, and while at the same time Showtime has 2 upgrades, 1 on shields. Yeah, all looking good and cool. So we will see. We will see harassment with Tempest. Why not? This is such a long range unit. It can take any turret, any tower, no problem, and just rips a couple of workers, makes them fall apart to pieces, and that's it. This is probably the spot where he'll be trying to take an expansion, although GoOdy thinks about it and tries to place down one barracks here to avoid any confusion. Wow, I love this scan, although the Vikings were not fast enough, and here's another battle now. 176 supply. If Showtime manages to hold this, I would be so freakishly surprised. I could dance and sing, but I don't think that will happen this time. 164 supply against 65. That's over 100 supply advantage, and I think Showtime is just clinging to this game with his teeth. He's trying to show his best, but with such a disadvantage in terms of the army numbers, there is not much his innovative play can do. And we have a GG, and thus GoOdy takes the game number 2. And we'll be moving on to the third map of the day, which I'm not really sure what it is, because the gamers will be choosing it. The players, sorry. There's a difference between the players and the gamers, because players get chicks, while gamers get games and achievements. So you know, you need to have a difference between these type of words, gamers and players. It sounds the same. Your grandmother may be convinced they are the same, but they are not quite the same. Right. So anyway, guys, I'll be back with you casting with the Jack attack, continuing in after a 3-minute break, so you can go and have a cup of coffee while we show some commercials, and we'll continue this awesome show match. I hope you like it. There are 450 people on the stream, so it seems it's quite good. That the players are showing very good games, so I'm not all that much surprised. And I'll be back with you. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, what's up?
Alright guys, my good cousin cousin Tom, which is the Jack Attack. I'm not really sure why I recalled cousin Tom on Battle.net, but hey, is with me now. But so warm welcome to you, mate. And before the game starts and it's already loading, I wanted to remind you that if you want to win a copy of Heart of the Swarm for you, we love you so much. We have so many of them in stock to give out. You just need to go to a Team Liquid thread about us. There's a thread about me specifically, and leave a comment. Give me your feedback. Let me know if you hate me, if you love me. I don't mind any of the ways. I will just read through the comments and become a better caster eventually, thanks to you. And this is why we are giving out love and StarCraft 2 copies to motivate you to help us. So anyway, let's get back to the game itself, and I'll leave you the introduction to for the players because I already done it 2 times tonight.
All right. In which case, in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, he's gotten decimated by high-impact Thors for 2 games in a row. Can he figure out a way to beat him this time? It's Showtime.
Right on. And in the
top. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted me to do both.
Yeah, you just had enough delay that I thought that yeah, you know, we're a young couple. We can figure this out. I'm sure.
We can work it out. We can work it out.
Yeah. By the way, I like open relationships, so.
Yeah, you know, that's okay with me. You know, as long as that's okay with you. You know.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we communicated through this. But this is a Terran player who's pretty much taking Heart of the Swarm by storm. It's GoOdy.
And GoOdy has been one of the players that are with StarCraft 2 and on the professional scene for a very long time. And he has been kinda in the shadows. So he is still a pro player, and you know, he earns his money, he wins his share of the tournaments, but he is not as proficient as one of the players, sort of, you know, MMA, Huck, Hydra, Torzen, you know, he didn't make it to be one of the biggest names in Wings of Liberty. But then, with Heart of the Swarm, he has been making such a blast on the Heart of the Swarm ladder that I can expect we'll be having another rising star, or maybe an awakening star here in the name of GoOdy. So I would love to see that happen. And always expansions to games, especially esports games, usually cause sort of a shuffle in the pro player scene, because maybe not because the games are so much different in how they play, but it's just the mentality of the players say, oh yeah, I like this much more, or yeah, I don't really like this expansion. And this is why there's so much shuffle happening after the expansion get launched.
Yeah, GoOdy. I have been playing some Protoss. I play Protoss. I don't know if you've run into this in the ladder, but GoOdy does this style with the high impact Thors, and it is mind-numbingly difficult to deal with. Haven't figured out a way to beat it. So the way that I look at this series is, we get to watch GoOdy completely destroy Showtime, or I get to figure out how the heck you beat this style, because it is so powerful.
So could you tell our viewers what is so special about this style?
Well, the thing is that first of all, GoOdy has always been a mech player. He likes tanks and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So when Heart of the Swarm comes out, they make mech stronger. So obviously he's going to go a lot of mech. It requires less APM. He's a low APM player.
There's a proxy Stargate on the map. I just wanted to note that fact.
Yep, probably some oracles coming in. There we are, first oracle, maybe just one. But yeah, so he's already got his mine out. Might try to use that to defend. I don't know if this is a small push with the 2 SCVs coming out.
A Widow Mine is actually the way of defending, you know, the proxy Stargate play. You just place one at the edge of your map, and boom, the oracle is gone. So
you have to be really careful about what your placement in the oracle, the Widow Mine, because if you put it too close to your minerals and the oracles goes over your workers, you can actually lose a bunch of workers. So be careful with that. All you new players out there experimenting with the Widow Mine.
The oracle is in the mineral line, ripping apart with its how the weapon is called. It's a pulsar beam. It's a weapon that has been, you know, it has been nicked from the Star Trek universe. I'm quite sure they had pulsar beams. And now GoOdy attacking with a Widow Mine, making its way straight to the mineral line, and that's not looking good. Oh my god!
Wow.
Oh!
Oh, we're
11
pretty much waiting for the
workers.
GG on Showtime. This was a knockout. Holy crap. The issue is that there's no detection here until that Oracle gets all the way across the map.
Yeah,
And
back to the base.
during that time, I mean, how much damage is this gonna deal?
Such a
Like,
brutal push. Now, if you face Widow Mines, the way to deal with them is not actually to surround them with workers. that you know, if GoOdy was some evil god from the Aztec past, and you would want to make a blood sacrifice to him so he treats you with grace, then sacrifice like a dozen of your workers may actually work. Although the number 7 or 13 probably would be more powerful. But if you want to deal with Widow Mines as to get rid of them, you just probably want to have one worker standing near, so he takes the blast. You don't ask a question, why me? You just sacrifice the one worker and then you deal with it. But surrounding it with workers, not a very good idea.
yep, really great. Showtime is very aware of the Widowmine play. He knows what the timer is. So he figured out exactly when he needed to run his workers away so they didn't get blown up.
Yep.
Really nice moves. Definitely going to be seeing a lot more of that in the future. But GoOdy is off to a tremendous start. I actually didn't think that Showtime would be able to hold that, but really great play. Keeps it in this game.
By the way, we are already at the level where players have more or less figured out what to do with your oracles if you need detection in your own base. We have been talking about that recently, and we said, yeah, it's kind of awkward because the oracle is in your opponent's base while you needed to detect something in your own. But now players tend to send the second oracle back to their own base if they detect signs of Widow Mine play, and that's actually a way to do it.
Yep. And so this is starting off the general way that a lot of GoOdy's games start off is one Widow Mine for defense, one Widow Mine for an attack. He's going to likely build up a big mech army with lots of tanks, force a big trade in the middle of the map, and start replacing the tanks. Start replacing the tanks with Thors. I've watched a bunch of these games and I've read a bunch about it, and he's pretty consistent. If he sticks with that style, like he possibly has done the first couple of games, it's just, I mean, it's like the parting Century Immortal all in. If it works, why would you do something else, you know? But we'll see. We'll see how it works out.
One flaw that gets into the players' heads: if you base too much upon a style rather than your own strengths, then you know when the metagame shifts and people figure out you are kind of a one-trick player, and players like that. You know, there was this guy who made a blast some time back, which was called the Fruit Dealer. And you know, the Fruit Dealer was very popular. He showed Zerg how to play, but he didn't want to adapt to new styles of play that came around, and he eventually switched to League of Legends because he was no longer able to compete at the highest level in StarCraft 2. So you need to be careful to have more tricks up your sleeve than one.
Oh, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
you know, that's just a general comment. I'm not saying that GoOdy is a one-trick player. I'm just saying that you need to be cautious about having only one trick.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that that sentiment. It does look like he's got a lot of mine production going on right now. The oracles are up in the corner hanging out, waiting to jump in there again, try to get some more damage dealt. Really great turret placement by GoOdy.
Yeah, and Showtime still not losing these oracles. He's paying extra attention to them, and I'm very keen on seeing how people more and more utilize oracles. They are very good at early game harassment for now, but I imagine they will be also a standard part of your armies later on. There already is a Viking, although that Viking is kinda late and not able to help much, and we are at a total of 28 workers lost by GoOdy just because of Oracle harassment. Now, oh, there's another drop coming. Drop consisting of 2 Widow Mines and 4 Marines. That sounds like a nice fruit shake. And will it deal enough damage? Will it knock Showtime again? I'm not sure he can stand another blow like that.
Yeah, and here we go. The Marines are all dropping. The Widow Mines are going to get burrowed very soon, but does not look like it got any big hits off as far as detection goes. There's an observer coming right over, so really nice defense from Showtime here. Well, really well done.
Yeah.
The worker counts are in the favor of the Protoss still. GoOdy probably looking to even the score a little bit with that to fight back against that Oracle harassment that came in, but we'll have to see. Many a factory coming down.
Okay.
All with tech labs, and then we have one reactor.
Yeah, we also have an expansion going down for GoOdy, so this is the usual timing where he takes an expansion. In the past game we saw him going for a ninja expansion, which was a little bit weird. I mean, ninja expansions, I'm not a very big fan of them. It's fun to see, but it usually doesn't work for you in the longer term, and you would probably be much better off with another expansion on your side of the map. But you know, it's a matter of preference. Now, this is the usual timing where GoOdy goes for a regular expansion. He already has 4 factories producing. He only has 1 armory, and I think that's a consistent thing of his style with the siege tanks transferred to Tors, where he has only 1 armory and he just keeps doing upgrades from it. Although, when I think about how much GoOdy invests in his armies, how powerful they are, I'm actually kind of surprised that he is so late with the upgrades altogether. I would imagine that if you're going mech, you would have 2 armories at once doing upgrades, and you know, once you expand, you're able to afford 2-2, then 3-3, and it should be as easy as that. Now, GoOdy has a tendency of going for upgrades very late in the game.
Yeah, and I mean, even this armory, he did build that armory a while ago, but he didn't use it to upgrades for a long time, so favoring a little bit more unit production, getting those Hellbats out in a sort of defensive posture right now.
2 drops on the way right now, 1 with Hellbats, the other one with Widow Mines, and oh my god, Showtime is on his way to intercept the Hellbat drop, and this one at the bottom of the map may go unchecked, and this is where he should be focusing most of his efforts. There are 4 Stalkers here, but will it be enough against 4 Widow Mines? Everything kind of depends on the moment where GoOdy drops his force. And also GoOdy moving out with his huge ass army with siege tanks and a lot of Hellbats, and we'll see how it goes for him.
Yeah, and it looks like we have DT traps coming in as well from Showtime,
so many things happening at once. I'm not sure I can handle this. So keep me steady, please. 2 Dark Templars being dropped in GoOdy's main while GoOdy approaches the main, the natural of Showtime. Showtime's army completely out of a position, and also it seems a little bit underpowered. And oh yes, now that Showtime has backed away with a couple of his stalkers that he had here specifically to guard his worker line, there are Widow Mines burrowing and workers being killed, although Widow Mines destroyed this lovely medic, I'm not sure why. The siege tanks have been sieged, but hey, oh my god, Showtime doing a beautiful surround, and with a Dark Templar to help the matters progress, he managed to defend it. Now let's take a look at the worker losses, and it's up to 55 workers lost by Showtime. I'm not sure that's very good for Showtime.
Yep. The units, everything lost overall is on the side of GoOdy though. So GoOdy has lost more total than Showtime, but that 3rd base is up a lot sooner. It's gonna be able to make up for the fact that he's slightly less cost efficient overall than Showtime so far.
So it looks tense, and Showtime is moving out. I'm not sure he has the strength to do so. On the other hand, if we take a look at the army supply, it's pretty damn equal. So GoOdy is not in a very good spot after losing that much too. Now another drop, and GoOdy, this is one of the new things about his style of play. He is doing a lot of drops, and back in Wings of Liberty he was not really known for doing a lot of drops. He was just the guy who went for a lot of Tors and a lot of siege tanks. He's being so freakishly annoying with this single Hellbat, picking it up, and at last he got destroyed. So Hellbats are one of the most annoying units in Hardwood Swarm, I think.
I don't know. I think if I had to vote for the most annoying Terran unit, I would say the Widowmine at this point. Just currently from my own experience, but Hellbat would definitely rank a very close number 2.
All right. So let's see what we have here. So right now, Showtime is moving across the map. Now this expansion is kinda very forward, so it would be also easy to take, but then it's in a sort of a crevasse, so you need to be extra careful when you go for that, so you don't get trapped in there. And there is no mothership core. Please note that there is no mothership core.
That is really interesting.
With Showtime's army, so that's kind of difficult for him. Okay, so there is a lone Hellbat. This is the Jim Raynor Hellbat, probably. Jim Raynor's riding this and trying to figure out what is the place where Protosses hide. For good, this is just one of the campaign matches. That's really it for now. So
yep. Small little move out with some Immortals and Gateway units. Just sort of clearing things out. Great vision with Showtime. He's got all 4 Xel'Naga watchtowers. He's really controlling the map. Goody in a more defensive posture, holding back a little bit.
Yeah, so being on 4 bases now that he established this expansion, Goody is going to... Oh, no, he's not going to build a turret here. There is a Dark Templar, and this is one of, again, I think, new inventions in Heart of the Swarm, just having Dark Templars around the map. I know that people have been doing this in Wings of Liberty, but not so much. With the Dark Shrine being so much cheaper right now, it just feels right to have these units spread around the map and be annoying. I guess that is their main purpose in life, to be annoying.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot easier. You don't have to make as big of a gas investment to build that initial Dark Shrine. Yeah. So it's a little bit easier to throw in a little bit of DT harass with whatever strategy you have. Whereas before, with the 250 gas, you're really opening yourself up to a timing where you'd be weak without that those tech structures or armies that you might have otherwise.
Showtime has to be careful. That there is one single choke here that he has to go through if he intends on attacking this base. He opened it up like a can, but Goody is so heavily fortified here that probably, yeah, again. Those 2 Immortals didn't do very well in this scenario. I'm sorry, but they won't be going back home for Christmas this year. And we have 2 simultaneous Hellbat drops here in the bottom left map of Showtime, and there's going to be another one here. And let's see how the killed worker counts goes up already. All hands have abandoned the ship here. And first off, killing the Medivac. That's a good call actually by Showtime. And now destroying this part. So anyway, 72 workers lost by harassment. This is how good Goody is with harassing.
Yeah, and it looks like that Showtime is... I didn't see the first game. Did he build any Colossus in the first game? Showtime?
He built some in the second game. So anyway, if we take a look at Goody's mixture, he actually adjusted to what he saw in the second and the first game, because Showtime wasn't going for too many Colossi, and if he's not going for Colossi, there is no point of having so many Vikings in your mixture, and that was one of the things that Goody struggled with in the game number 1, I believe, where there were exactly no Colossi, only a couple of Void Rays and a Tempest. Now, Showtime is basing his strategy around a ground-based army. There are 2 upgrades, and +3 is getting shortly finished. Now, let's see at Goody's upgrades. He is at 1-1. So again, extremely late with the upgrades. I'm not really sure why he does that, or if he does it on purpose.
Yeah, and we have wow, we have a Banshee transition coming in from Goody right now. He's going up to 4 starports, 5 starports, excuse me. 4 of them looks like they're going to be with the tech labs, and he's getting cloaked.
So many Banshees? Why so many Banshees?
I don't know. I mean, the Banshee is going to be a great way for him to be putting on some pressure. He might feel like he's sort of boxed in, and his drops haven't been doing too well, so maybe he's going to try some Banshee.
And by the way, I love this single stalker here, just trying to figure out a small advantage with a very hurt stalker. 14 hit points surrounded by a shield that doesn't bring too much confidence to your heart, but still, he managed to take down a tower. So, why not?
Yeah, take every little bit where you can. GoOdy is starting to rack up the command centers now.
And oh, the stalkers try to blink in here, but they didn't realize that there are 3 big-ass siege tanks on the cliff. And by the way, GoOdy is going for another double this time, double Hellbat drop into the mineral line. So, like we said before, he's very persistent about these drops, and this is what eventually ends up killing Showtime.
Yeah, and he's coming in with Banshees from the other side, so it's going to be another double-pronged attack. In the meantime, Showtime's moving out. It looks like he might go into the third. No, he's not going to. Hellbat's dealing tons of damage.
And there's another fly away. I'm not sure how to call it in English even. They are they are just appreciating the views of the bones in the valley down there. They went all commando right now, so they are cloaked. And we'll see how much damage does it deal. Now there's a cannon still, so they are in the range of detection, I believe. Yes, they are. And a bunch of warped in stalkers should be enough if they fire all at the same time. Yeah, firing all at the same time is one of the crucial moments of StarCraft 2, and I'm not sure that these couple of stalkers have it in them. And all of them get picked up. Oh, not so good. And Showtime just getting distressed and has again lost a lot of workers, and too much, if you ask me.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage for 4 Banshees, and none of them have died. He's going to be able to take out this expansion very likely before anything gets to him. Nope, he's just going to walk away. Just wants to keep his Banshees alive for the later stages, and he's building battle cruisers.
Cattle bruisers, you mean?
Either way, they're huge and they deal tons of damage.
Yeah, and now I think we'll be seeing something interesting because people say, yeah, well, you counter battle cruiser with a Tempest. Isn't that obvious? No, it isn't, because if you supply your battlecruiser army with, oh my god, so many observers just got ripped apart by these widow mines. But anyway, if you support your battlecruiser with 1 or 2 ravens and place a point defense drone, then it's very difficult for the Tempest to actually fire on something. Point defense drone takes up 20 shots, and since Tempests are firing so slowly, they are pretty much not even able to reach the battlecruiser.
Yep, and it's so awesome to be able to see like the variety of strategy here. I mean, I don't know very many Wings of Liberty games where you saw a big airplay from mech play. There were a few of them, especially in TVT, but it's really cool to see the rare units like the battlecruiser come in.
You know, Showtime is preparing for an attack right now, but then GoOdy is in position for drops, so at the same time GoOdy will not have his full strength with him during the drops. And oh no, Showtime is not going for any sort of a base raid. He's going back to defend his bases, and that may actually cost him the victory in this, because GoOdy is all around the place. He doesn't even need any more time to set up the widow mines. He's pretty much at every possible spot around the map, and Showtime is just losing stuff. If he went for a counter-attack during that time, he may have gotten an actual chance, because a big part of GoOdy's army would just be out harassing. Now, Showtime has lost a lot with the harassment and has not gained anything, so that's a bad trade, I would say.
A very bad trade, I would say. We're up to 109 workers killed by GoOdy. This harassment is devastating. I don't know how Showtime's going to hold on, but we watched him hold on last game for a very long time. He's very tenacious.
Are in very shortly. They just straight up target the cannon. Why not? And oh, beautiful feedbacks, although not enough. This one Banshee is just going, woo! I'm just happy I didn't tank up to the full. And if I had full fuel and full energy, I would just be destroyed. Not too good for my karma. I want to go home after this. I'm not really one of these guys you hire to die.
It's really cool also to see GoOdy not dropping so many mules, but building extra orbital commands, a lot of them just for scans, just to have that information as much as possible, which is really really cool to see.
And if you have an abundance of minerals, then there is no reason for you not to do this. It's,
Absolutely.
It's very much okay. And now Showtime, yeah, he managed to catch all the Banshees. GoOdy kinda extended himself too thinly in this situation. There are still a couple of Widow Mines in Showtime's base, but he managed to take care of them at a cost of 1 Stalker. Not too sloppy, it's just how good GoOdy's placement is. And that was not even intended as a joke. We already have 8 battle cruisers. Now let's see what the upgrades are. Yeah, nice and fancy +3 armor and +2 to attack. These battle cruisers will rip through everything that Showtime has to throw at them, especially that Showtime is not really able to start flying his Immortals. If he would have flying Immortals, I imagine it would be pretty cool to destroy battle cruisers with them, but the Protoss managed to find out a way of you know, having a huge ballista that would launch Immortals, and before they die or fly off with no gravity, they would just manage to fire off a couple of shots. That would be good, but until that happens, Immortals are pretty much useless against battle cruisers.
Yeah, I would say that that is one of the most useless units to have against battle cruisers.
What would be even
maybe
more
second
useless?
to the probe.
Yeah, second to the probe.
Maybe an automaton, or one of those neutral critters.
Yeah.
Those would probably be even more useless.
Or the cynical
or a changeling.
shark. The cynical shark is even more useless.
I don't know though, because the cynical shark can't be killed. Cynical Shark is at least invincible, so...
But anyway, guys, we have a run-by with Immortals, which is forcing the expansion to go up and is already burning, killing a lot of probes, so that is a way of trying to use the resources you have at hand. But then GoOdy is just dealing so much damage down here, and we'll see if Showtime has enough to defend it. The one thing I'm kind of worried about is that there is no single Raven, not a single Raven that supports this battlecruiser force, and that will actually be very weak against Tempest. There is one Ghost, but I don't imagine that will deal a lot of damage. Now, if he had a couple of nice High Templars, then it would be cool to have them deal with the battlecruisers, but he has to be careful not to get EMP on them, and oh my god, 5 at the same time, although he managed to save 3 or 4 of them. And now, does a battlecruiser have enough energy to be destroyed? No, it doesn't. So a battlecruiser has just enough energy to be devastated by a feedback, by High Templar, but it doesn't have enough energy to be destroyed, even if it's on full energy.
And we have both armies positioning around right now. It looks like Showtime's trying to make an engagement happen. This is a pretty aggressive posture for him. He may just go straight in for the attack.
And
it does look like it right now. The battle cruisers are really far behind.
Yeah, he may be caught from behind, and that wouldn't be too good. He only has 2 Tempests, and against battlecruisers with no Raven support. Oh my god, Widow Mine's doing so much damage. Again, I think Protosses need to learn to carry a very smart observer in front of their army before they move in anywhere. But then we have a huge force of 12 battlecruisers supported by further 8 Vikings, so that's probably too huge, but hey, it's Showtime. He has managed to defend and destroy GoOdy's army so many times for now, so I expect the same may happen in the battle.
Yep, and right after that Widow Mine hit, immediately Showtime reacted by getting the observer speeds. That way the observers would be in the front of his army when he sent it around. He is primarily using one control group, so...
actually,
big storms coming in.
Yeah, a great position. Will we have feedbacks? Will we have enough feedbacks? A couple of them go down, but it's not enough, guys. It's not enough, and he doesn't even manage to target all these battlecruisers, and he prefers to fire up a storm. Well, a lot of battlecruisers are on orange health, and GoOdy is just being relentless, and his army is wearing down as he chases Showtime, which works extremely well for Showtime, and now he'll just try to counterattack, but the question is, does he has enough units to destroy this huge army? And the supplies are not very much in favor for Showtime. He's just barely clinging to his game and losing a lot of his units right now, and we have another GG. Yeah.
takes another one. Well played.
So GoOdy claims another victory. I hope you guys love this as much as we do love casting it. Wow. So Heart of the Swarm so far making a blast. GoOdy so far also being a blast. So
I'm really excited to see when the premier tournaments start popping up after the release how well GoOdy is going to be doing. I really have a feeling he's going to be making some strong showings in the tournaments.
Oh yes, and he has been also practicing so hard to get prepared. A lot of players do that. So we have seen a lot of GSL stars which have dropped to Code A out of Code S just because they stopped practicing Wings of Liberty and switched to Heart of the Swarm. So these guys will have a head start, and once you have a head start, it puts a lot of pressure on you. You have this element of surprise saying, yeah, I'm prepared. I'm not surprised you have Widow Mines. I'm not surprised you have Tempest. I have all of this figured out. So I will shrug it off. But then it also puts a lot of pressure on you as a person because you need to stay ahead of others. If you are ahead, then you better stay ahead. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind. And I'm probably sounding like how was that writer called? Paulo Coelho. If you don't stay ahead, you fall behind. That's the sort of a thing you could read in a Paulo Coelho's book. But hope there are no fans of Paulo Coelho here. Anyway, guys, I wanted to remind you, if you love or hate our show, just let us know why, and go to Team Liquid and leave a comment. We have 3 Heart of the Swarm copies for you. We'll be having 5 of them at the week of the launch for you, a couple at the day of the launch of Heart of the Swarm, and then every 2 weeks we'll be having an additional Heart of the Swarm copy, just because we love your feedback so much and it helps us to be better people. And the link is of course on the chat right there.
Very nice.
Yeah. So anyway, going to a short commercial break, just give the players some time to host another map, and we'll be back with you. And the next game is upon us. It has been released upon us by this handsome lad here, spawning in the just right side of the map. No top or bottom right. It's just the right side of the map. If you're not left, then you're right. He is Showtime, guys.
And in the left side of the map, we have ESC's GoOdy.
Although I have a very good quote from Magic the Gathering card.
Okay.
So it was a quote about war in general. War is not to determine who is right, it's to determine who is left.
Do you know what card that's on? That's so familiar to me. I probably...
I
can't think of it.
Which it was probably some Fire Blast, because I used to play red in Magic the Gathering.
Nice.
I'm not sure which specific card it is. I still have a huge box in my closet somewhere with like 1,000 Magic the Gathering cards, or even more probably. I have spent a fortune on them, even though I was still a little kid. But it just took me years to collect what I have today, and I still can't convince my brother, because the way it has worked for us, my brother always collected the blue and black cards, which I also wanted to have, but hey, we had to spread them somewhat, and I can't convince him to sell me them back, and I would love to have the full collection, but now I just don't have any cards of these two colors.
Yeah, you know. I played mostly green myself. I was a big fan of the Saplings and Rith the Awakener and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I love that game. I would totally get back into Magic the Gathering if I had some more time and money.
Yeah, that's time and money is
time and money.
That's time and money. But anyway, back to StarCraft 2. Probably at some point there will be a trading card game in the StarCraft 2 universe, and I'm sure as hell to play it. But then let's focus on what happens this game. We have a Reaper. So now GoOdy goes for a completely different opening with a fast Reaper. Reapers no longer require a tech lab, so if you haven't been following Heart of the Swarm, this is one of the major changes, and you can have them a lot faster, but then they are also a lot weaker in many ways, and they just don't have the enough damage that they used to have. They are faster, they have more health, they regenerate, so they have a portable medic pack, but they don't deal as much damage as they used to. But then if you get 3 or 4 of them, it's probably equally as good.
Yeah, and this is interesting, going for 1 barracks with reactor and then expand. That's pretty cool stuff. And he just makes 1 Reaper to scout around, put some pressure on. He's going into Marine production after that. And he's adding a second barracks.
I have expected this to be a proxy Stargate, but what Showtime is going to do is...
Proxy DTs, or Proxy Zealot Charge. Proxy Zealot Charge, yes. Proxy Zealot Charge Phoenix. That's what we're going to see here. Very likely, yes.
If that happens, I will buy a bottle of Dom Perignon and send that over to you by a post.
Sounds good. Oh, it's a Proxy Blink. I was so close. Yeah. We'll probably still see the DTs come in later, though.
Yeah, probably so. Would be a shame not to go for them. Anyway,
it'd be very, very guarded Blink.
Yeah, I wonder why. Now Blink is taking more time. Oh, he nearly managed to catch it, but eventually it did splash in a lot of its own blood, and the body is still lying there somewhere on the edge. I love the new physics. It just gives a lot more flavor to the game.
No. We're adding 2 gates for Showtime. This is definitely, with that pylon placement, looking like a DT attack. Probably all in on 1 base at this point.
And by the way, guys, if you like this show match, please, give us a thumbs up or subscribe if you're watching this live, because that just, gives us a feeling that you care, and we should carry on doing this no matter what happens. If Apocalypse comes tomorrow, we will still be running weekly show matches if you subscribe. That's very important fact to note.
That's a very strong promise you're making there.
Oh yeah.
That's very strong.
I am very certain in the abilities of my internet provider, so
we definitely have to write them a thank you letter. Like, I'm so confident in the apocalypse I will still have internet because I choose you. They're like, well, we don't guarantee that, and yes, but I believe that you will.
Yeah, you will.
Okay. This guy, yeah,
my
really
faith in you is just the reason why you should, try to do that anyway. We are going too crazy again. So GoOdy right now seeing this and probably suspects that Blink will be on its way, and the Blink is already finished. A lot of Marines and a couple
he's
of
waiting
Marauders.
for it.
Yeah, he's waiting for it. So
if he takes down the mothership core, he's going to be able to completely shut this down.
Yeah, if the mothership goes down, that's kinda goodbye and go back home.
Yeah, we don't have any observer follow-up. We don't have any expansion follow-up. This is it. We are all in.
Yeah, and the blink up. Oh, just before the stim pack finishes, and this is actually huge. If he blinks away now, he already has done enough damage. What a beautiful blink micro. And he runs away, manages to save most of the stalkers, and a very annoying loss of stim pack. Stim pack hasn't finished. I think there was like 1 second remaining on that. Oh my god.
Yep, that was very close. And this is not looking good at all for GoOdy. I don't know how he's gonna pull his way out of this one. Normally stalkers don't do very well against Marine Marauder, but there's no stim. There's no.
Yeah.
GG.
We have a GG, guys. So this time it is our good friend Showtime who claims the victory, and he shows. All right, it's time. It's time for me to claim some games, and the back of victories have been opened. We'll see them spinning all around the floor right now. So before we get to the next game, there will be a short commercial break so we can go and grab a cup of coffee or a bag of popcorn. I love popcorn, but unfortunately my belly is the size of a beast, so I can't eat it that much. You can do me a favor and enjoy it for me, and we'll be back after 2 minutes. Now, if you tell me that you're eating popcorn, I will just kill you. It will not be a bottle of Dom Perignon I will sending over post.
No, it's tortilla and hummus. You ever had hummus and tortilla before?
No, I have no idea what that is.
Oh, really? Hummus
Yeah.
is a dip-like thing. It's made out of chickpeas mostly, or garbanzo beans, depending on.
I'm very sure that our viewers are very interested in what you're eating right now.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I
Yeah.
assumed
Yum
I
yum,
assumed-
so tasty.
Just like, hey, it's a commercial. I'll grab a snack, and I was like, oh, not everyone gets commercials. Some people use ad block.
Oh yeah.
Whoops.
So slap.
Whoopsies. I didn't think you could hear me. Sorry.
Alright guys, the game will be hosted in a second. There was a question I have received on private message, so just wanted to remind you, there was a question how to get into the Heart of the Swarm giveaway, because we'll be giving away, more than a dozen of copies of Heart of the Swarm during the week of the launch. If you just follow us on Twitch, if you click the follow button, which is, I'm not sure even if it's up or down, probably below this, then during streams we'll be giving away copies. Then if you go on Team Liquid and leave a comment saying, yeah, I like your casting, these are the things you should be improving, or I hate your casting, but if you improve X or Y or Z, then you'll be a good caster. If you just leave me your feedback, I'll be so much grateful. I'll be giving out copies of Heart of the Swarm alongside with some kisses. And kisses probably you don't care about, but But Heart of the Swarm copies, I'm more than sure that you do. Bum, bum, bum. I could probably try to commentate on the map being downloaded, but I think that it has limited capabilities of entertaining you guys.
Yeah, I mean the number only goes up. So
Yeah, and oh, it's up to 90, 91, will we see? Yes, 92, 93, 95, and oh my god, we're getting close to 98, 99, and yes! 100%, and I'm already in the lobby.
Yeah. Wow.
Ah.
You know, I was unsure whether it was going to get to 100 or not. I thought maybe there would be some sort of worker harass and it would go back down to 75 and then you'd have to bring it back up because the economy would be hurt. The download economy, of course. You know, gotta watch out. Oh man, this is going to be on Kespa Neo Planet S.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun. I love this map.
Just waiting for the game to start. We're already in the lobby, as you can hear from the excitement of my good friend Jack. Who he seems to be playing GoOdy this game, as you can see. Yeah. Oh, it's no longer. I think GoOdy despites you.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
It's too easy. Too easy.
You just checked your profile and. Man.
You don't even have to check in Heart of the Swarm too. That's the cool thing. You can just see the border around the pictures, like, aha, you are platinum, or you are silver, or gold. Or...
I had to phrase it somehow, so.
Yeah, I love that feature. It's such a cool feature. When you're loading up, you can see like the level of your opponent. It's pretty neat.
Although, by the way, there is one feature, and a lot of, you know, some of people that are watching this right now will already go pitchfork and a torch. But stay steady, guys. Keep your pitchforks and torches down. I love one feature that they implemented in League of Legends. There is one feature in League of Legends that I actually like, and that is the system of leagues that they basically copied from StarCraft, although the Master League is called in a different way. I'm not sure, I don't play League of Legends myself, just a friend told me. You know, usually all these stories that embarrass you are about your friend, not about you. So my friend told me that they made it even better than it is in StarCraft, because when you are nearing a promotion, you are actually told, hey, you are going to get promoted if you win best of 3. And then the couple of next matches you play are basically a best of 3 against random people, or a best of 5, whatever the league you are on. And if you win that best of 3, you know you're going to get promoted.
It is so awesome. I love that system. I love it so much. When I heard that League of Legends was adopting the league system of StarCraft, I was like, I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't really like that too much. The other way was kind of cool. But now that I've checked it out, it is really great. And it would be so cool if StarCraft took a division, subdivision setup, because I think it would bring a little bit more meaning to sort of vagueness of the league.
And just to be clear, guys, I'm not saying I like League of Legends. I'm just saying that they have managed to improve on the system of leagues that StarCraft 2 has. And that's nothing to be ashamed of, remember. We are men. We are sure enough of our manhood that we're not afraid about that. So GoOdy again going for this extra quick refinery, which means he's going to go for Widow Mine play. Now this can work a couple of ways. You can go either a proxy factory, which would be a viable option on this map, on most of the maps to be honest. He can also go defensive Widow Mines, or he can just land a freaking factory in his opponent's main, and that would still also work if of course Showtime doesn't notice it.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. This SCV is running out there. The barracks is finishing up. Now the factory is going to be in the main. It looks like this. This will be a scouting. Workers will shake hands. No, they will avoid each other and not even look each other in the eye. They've had a fight, the two scouting workers, and they are currently avoiding eye contact.
They just had a, you know, bro fist, to be honest.
I was a long distance bro fist. I mean, like, that
long
SCV
distance bro fist. You know,
yeah,
after you learn how to long distance mine minerals, then you learn how to long distance bro fist.
Oh, okay. That's the next step.
And
that totally makes
oh
think
my
about
god, GoOdy building an engineering bay in the natural, and this is going to be very annoying for Showtime. He's already chrono boosting his stalker. Of course, he kinda expects what's going to happen, and on the other side of the map, GoOdy is going to go for defensive Widow Mines, as we have mentioned, and the engineering bay will, of course, near its finish, you will have 790 health to nibble at. While it will just get cancelled in the end anyway. So it's even more annoying than a proxy pylon, because it's a proxy pylon that doesn't finish, has more health, and can be cancelled at any time.
It is very, very annoying. You do have to invest, the Terran has to invest the 125 minerals, has to float that for a little while, so it'll slow down the build, just having that amount of minerals in the bank. But get 94 back, pretty good deal. Display the Protoss, delay rather the Protoss expansion. We have more proxy. So what do you think is going to be this time?
2 gases. I would say Stargate. No, it would be too late for a Stargate. But on the other hand, I wouldn't be that much surprised. Let's take a bet. I am, after all, I am betting for maybe a Robo. Or something
proxy,
like that.
Oh,
we have Dark Shrine, so it's going to be a proxy pylon. Just a proxy pylon, guys. I bet Robo, I bet Stargate, I bet nothing, and I win.
I bet pylon.
Yeah.
I bet you that's going to be a proxy pylon. Well, it already is. You win. Very well done.
Yeah, but no, a Robo would in fact work also well in the proxy scenario, because it would be able to produce a warp prism, and this is a strategy we have seen maybe not too often, but often enough in Wings of Liberty.
Yep, some really cool stuff that you can do with proxy Robo and Wings of Liberty, and very likely in Heart of the Swarm as well.
Yeah. So 2 warp gates, two gateways. There's a Robo going down right now, the 3rd gateway, but it seems that the timing on the 3 Dark Templars that will arrive first is going to be a little bit off.
Yep, big drop coming in from GoOdy. Manages to deal some damage. Really nice defense
Oh my
from
god,
Showtime
and
now.
this Widow Mine again dealing so much damage. Not so good, and also Showtime doesn't have any sort of detection, and this Widow Mine will recharge even before the Observer is out, so there will be another casualty of this war.
Yep, it looks like it. Maybe that probe is being a little bit bold, sticking around, mining those minerals. Doesn't he know that there's a Widow Mine that's very close?
No, he said, yeah, I'm good at maps. I know that this is outside range. And barely, oh my god, GoOdy just barely showed that little smudge going up the ramp and managed to close the supply depot off, and the Dark Templar will have to stick forever hidden in shadows. He won't get into the main.
Very well played. That's the one of the advantages of playing such a droppy, aggressive type style, is that you get to do some free scouting while you're in there. He saw the Dark Shrine, so he was totally prepared for it.
Yeah. And the Mothership Core is out, which couldn't be said about the last game of Showtime. And we'll just see what he goes for this time. I think that GoOdy has worked him off so much that by now Showtime will be expecting a lot of drops and harassment, and will be preparing for that, even if GoOdy doesn't show any signs of that type of a play. But then we already have a second drop on the way, so why do I bother with the discussion anyway?
Yep, the drops are just gonna continue to happen. The GoOdy's had a lot of success for them. No reason to stop now.
And by the way, GoOdy has more income of one base that's at 1200 minerals per minute. More income than a 2-base Protoss, just because of the mules. So if you are new to StarCraft 2 and you haven't figured it out yet, mules are the way to go if you play Terran.
Absolutely. Mules, anything in general. If you're a Terran player, you build something that begins with the letter M, you're probably going to do pretty well.
Yeah, motherships,
Marines, marauders,
medevacs,
yeah. Mules, and mines. You know, Marine, marauder, medevac, mine, mule. You got those 5 things right there.
They should call Hellbats Hellbats.
Yeah. Call them M-bats.
Yeah, M-bats. Batmans, short. Anyway, so Showtime will be just defending while he's... So, to paint a picture for you guys, he doesn't really have an idea what GoOdy is going for. He managed to set up a pylon or two around the map, so he knows whenever a drop is coming. Although he doesn't have a grander idea about what GoOdy is up to. So he knows there is an expansion, he saw that happening, but he doesn't know what sort of the background tech is going on. Now with GoOdy you can almost be certain that this is going to be a mech play, and the only game that GoOdy didn't go for mech, he has lost it. So so GoOdy is going to stick with his mech style plus harassment, which adds up to a nice and sweet game ahead of us.
Yep. Absolutely, he's got his base ground floor foundation of the tanks holding defensive, and then throwing out a couple of drops here and there to keep the opponent on the back foot. It's a really great style.
Oh, and a Raven.
Yep. He grabbed the Raven, I think, to get rid of the Dark Templars without having to scan, but we'll see what else he does with that Raven. He's going really far out with it.
This is one of the things that happen when you are playing a best of 9 series, or even a best of 3, to be honest. If you see something that's dominating and persistent in your opponent's style, you adapt to it. And GoOdy, seeing how often does Showtime use his Dark Templars, he's just saying, okay, this game I'm quite sure he's going to use them, even I saw them so many times, and I'll just buy a Raven and save myself some trouble.
Yeah, and we have attempted Raven harass. I think that's what that was. And he saw the cannon. Good placement by Showtime. He pulled back. He may or may not just be going home with the Raven, peeking him with a couple of Hellions.
Not sure. These guys probably are on heavy alcohol. They are not driving very responsibly, driving through such a huge army. Huge in comparison to Hellions, of course, but they are going to notice this ninja expansion, and I love this methodical play by GoOdy. He just runs around the map at all times, and this is something that he does every game. In 99 of 100 cases there will be no ninja expansion, but when there is, this will pay off.
Absolutely, and you can see that GoOdy had them shift command to check all of the bases just to get a tabs on how many bases Showtime was on if he was trying to pull anything sneaky. Yeah. So very well done there.
The armies are just going to miss each other because the middle is kind of guarded and not too many people meet here around the gold minerals, although GoOdy tries to establish a base. So ballsy of him, and he goes to attack the front, and there is nothing to defend. There is a mothership course, so he'll be able to use recall, and this is actually very good for the Protoss. And once he notices, oh my god, there's a huge ball of Terran in the front of my base, I'm quite sure he's going to recall the units.
Showtime could just take this base right out and recall, but it looks like he's going in for the production structures. He might want to make this a base race. I don't know exactly the decision making behind Showtime right now.
Very greedy.
Everything on the mini map is blinking white.
Yeah, blink away, my friend. And is it the time to use? No, he's just going straight up for a base trade. I am so uncertain of this. I mean, this is not a position where you should go for a base trade. You should try to defend your main because you have an army disadvantage. If you have an army disadvantage, then harassing your opponent or going for a base trade isn't a very good idea, and especially against Terran, because they can just lift up their buildings and escape, and that's it. That's Bruce Willis style. Now we have a couple of innings left for Showtime, but I think this is going to be it. There are also a couple of carriers around, but I'm not. I don't really see them working this.
I don't think that one carrier and 4 interceptors is going to be able to do the job. GG.
This one Tor was going crazy disco. Just it looked like a dog chasing his own tail, and that's it. So Showtime has lost another match, and it's 4-1 for GoOdy right now. And if he manages to win one more, he takes the series. This is a best of 9 series, a show match for special people that. I don't really know what to say now. I wanted to give it some extra flavor, but I have, my thought of train my train of thought, not a thought of train. I have thought of trains,
I've
and
thought of
thus
trains before. I love to think of trains occasionally.
And thus,
It's a good
my
thing to think
train
about.
of
Trains are
thought has
cool.
derailed, and that's what happens if you think about trains too much. So anyway, guys, I'm happy that you like the stream. If you have any opinion, please share it with us. We want to know what you think about the stream, about the show. We run this show weekly, with the exception of the upcoming 2 weeks, where we'll be waiting, hidden in our bunkers, waiting for Heart of the Swarm to release, and then we'll be back, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And we'll kick asses and chew bubblegum, and of course right of the day one will be all out of gum, so you can expect what will be happening. Even more sweet show matches will be happening on our stage. You can expect even better games that you're seeing today, so be sure to follow us on Twitch. You'll be able to know when we're going live, and you know what's the nature of the show that you're about to see. In the meanwhile, guys, a short commercial break, and we'll be back with the game number... please do the calculations faster. Game number 6. Thank you very much. My brain. See you later.
Disconnected.
Righty, so here we go with even more of Heart of the Swarm, and first off, here on Belshir Vestige, is it the best Belshir Vestige?
Yep, Belshir Vestige.
Yeah, so here spawning the left top corner or top left corner, how should I say that?
I always say top left personally, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a proper way to say it, actually.
So in the top left corner we have ESC Showtime spawning as the red Protoss.
And in the bottom right-hand corner of our screen, we've got the one who is one game away from closing this out. It's Eclipsea's GoOdy.
Yeah, and he just wants to claim the victory, and that's it. If he claims one more game, he will be able to take the whole show match. And as we have seen so far, Showtime is having troubles dealing with GoOdy's relentless aggression. And GoOdy has transformed since the player he was in Wings of Liberty. Right now he's doing many more drops, because drops are so much stronger in Heart of the Swarm. And also his army composition got so damn complicated that it's just difficult to figure out what should you build against that.
Absolutely, and it's difficult. A lot of Terran players like QXC have said that it's difficult for Terran to be flexible because their production is so inflexible. But GoOdy does a really great job of being able to shift his unit composition around to fit the need of the particular time.
And also he's being very defensive. Now we have 2 extra quick gases from Showtime, and I imagine he's going to go for some one base aggression, or alternatively he'll just maybe trying to fool the opponent into thinking that okay, you're going for DTs or Stargate play, but having in mind the positioning of this one single probe, the Proberto, the one and only He's probably going to try and stick a pylon somewhere. Yeah, there's a marine, and oh no, yeah, thank you sir, but I don't really like the way you point your gun at me. I'm just going to place a proxy pylon somewhere here. And the marine is not really able to follow that, because he's just a dumb marine.
And he's so slow. He's just a slow little marine guy. He doesn't have any stim or anything like that. Just 2.25.
Would you imagine Marines trying to solve math puzzles? You would have them sitting in a work class, sitting in a class next to a piece of paper, and they would be trying to figure out how much is it 1 plus 1, and then someone would come with a needle of Stimpack medicine to them, inject that, and they would instantly go 1 plus 1 equals 2. And then you would give them, you know, how much is 4,000 times 5,768, and they would just give you the result right away, just like the ogres of Discworld. Did you read the Discworld books?
I didn't have a chance to. Did not have a chance to read the ogres. I am currently reading Fight Club and The Art of Learning. Those are my 2 books right now. I do 1 fiction, 1 non-fiction.
Right.
Currently, I'm doing that.
All right. I'm just trying to make so many references to the most geekiest books of them all, and and so far, no luck with you. So
yeah, we have the same push coming out from GoOdy with a couple of SCVs. We got the 1 mine. The 2nd mine being used defensively, and he's expanding, so...
And the reason why you take SCVs with this is that SCVs have pretty much the same speed as your Widow mine, and they also kind of act like a shield to it, so the opponent has to target your Widow mine instead of just going attack move and hitting it right away.
Oh, that was some really nice micro there. He didn't want to waste the Widow mine shot on the probe, so he unburrowed it right at the moment that it would have fired. Really nice move there.
Yeah. So anyway, it seems this expansion will not have a future full of happiness and longevity. It will just go down in a second. Now, Showtime will try to approach this, but he needs to be careful. This 1 Zealot is a sacrificial one. Is he aware that there's a 2nd Widow mine? He may lose a sentry to that. Oh, the mothership! Soaked in nearly all the damage, and now Showtime is very much worried. Oh, right. So, okay, he has an observer on the way, so it's semi-okay for him.
Yep, the observer's going to be out, be able to kill these things off before they get another shot off. Well, the damage has been done, and the 2 Marines and their friend, the Marauder, are going to walk all the way back home. And
hey, George, how's it going?
I'm very glad they got out of that one.
Yeah. So now Showtime is going with a counterattack, and GoOdy actually he needs to prepare defenses for it, because the counterattack, after losing so many offensive units and also Widow mines included, your defensive abilities are kind of stripped apart, and there is a Widow mine burrowed here, so. If Showtime is not very careful, he may lose a bunch of his zealots, but we'll see how he executes this. By the way, there's already a siege tank here, so this is one of the reasons Terrans can afford to do pushes like this. You can do a push and then get back to the defensive side of things and just build 1 single siege tank. Oh my god!
Really nice snipe there.
The mothership has just split into a dozen of little shiny stars, and that can't be good.
Here comes the drop from... Ooh, looks like an elevator play from Showtime. He's going to get almost all of his units up here before GoOdy even notices.
Oh, and the force field. Oh my god. This,
nice play. Very nice play.
Maybe not a finisher move, but if he keeps the force field up long enough, the losses that GoOdy will suffer are just huge, and probably... well, yeah, Showtime should go for the production facilities. Oh my god, this 1 sentry with the most energy just got sniped. But then Showtime should go for the production facilities and then just run away like hell. Otherwise it's not going to work for him too well. And he's going to snipe a couple of supplies depots. I'm not sure this is not too desperate.
Is he gonna let that factory burn down? It's getting close. It's down to 50.
Down to 50. And the Marines realize, oh my god, one of our buildings is burning up the sky, and
there
it
it
got
goes.
saved
Wow.
around 30 health points. There's another, maybe not a drop, but a run by with a single Helion here at the top. And by the way, GoOdy sees that there's a Colossus tech on the way, and we are also having the first Colossi on its way. And by the way, the drop from the Protoss continues. So 2 sentries, and oh, will they force field the workers? No, they will just try to run away. But
Wow, it's gonna
not
work.
so good. Oh, and he saves it.
I manages to get some damage out. He's even gonna warp in some more units here. Wow, this is very persistent aggression.
Wow, this is unexpected.
Yeah, and finally the warp prism goes down. It's gotta be frustrating for GoOdy.
Yeah, it falls apart.
The economies are looking in the favor of the Protoss player right now.
Why is this Colossus trying to cross the map? This is like one of these why did the chicken cross the road jokes.
Alright, why is he trying to cross the map?
Yeah.
That's when you say to get to the other side.
No, that wouldn't be funny.
Oh, I know. I was trying to think of something more funny, but that's sort of the classic
the chicken
response.
jokes never were funny, to be honest, so...
I mean, chickens aren't really that funny. They're not really funny animals.
I think
More-
chickens are pretty funny, but
I
not
don't
the
know.
chicken jokes.
Sea otters?
What?
Compare sea otters to chickens in level of funny. Sea otters are almost 2 times as funny.
Yeah. Enough about the animals though. I think it's the jungle on this map that got us thinking about the animals so much. If this would be Daybreak, we would just think about robots and computers like every normal geek would, but something's with this map, mate.
Yeah, jungle's very many poisonous and strange exotic things that we might not be immune to, and we could have caught a bug. We're now delirious.
Yeah, and even worse, you can catch a computer virus. That's the worst scenario of them all. So anyway, to sum up, Showtime right now taking another expansion, so he'll be off 3 bases. This is something consistent of the old games. He's usually maybe not ahead in bases, but takes them rather sooner than later, and usually sooner than GoOdy. And GoOdy playing as always extra defensively. He's a little oversaturated in his mineral lines, so he probably should go and just take. Yeah, he's going to take this expansion, sending a small force of his units to defend this location, and that's pretty much everything that he needs there. Also, sorry, I thought there's a sensor tower building. I just hallucinated it, probably. I'm a Protoss.
Well, Protoss tend to do that.
Oh, anyway,
got a big fight coming
wow,
at the
what
front.
a set of force fields, and the siege tanks
Patches
were
up
not
on
even
siege.
sieged. Oh my god, and
manages to
all
see
of the
that
Terran
Colossus with
units
50
are
hit
going
points.
down. The second siege tank also is going to fall, and if Showtime follows on this, if he follows on this attack, this would, well, maybe not an auto victory, but this is so huge and strong. I'm not sure
He's
that
going to be able
GoOdy
to take
has-
out the third.
Yeah,
He
I'm
doesn't
not
know it's
sure.
there. He is going to go for it.
Good, very good. And this third is going down for sure. This one desperate mule dropped just a second ago. So unfortunate, my friend. You only got 60 seconds to live, and you didn't even get that. So right now, Showtime looking very strong. With the Colossi, he can play a lot with the positioning. He could take some of the production facilities over here. And there are Vikings already on the way. Too bad that Showtime didn't feel confident enough to go and attack straight away. Because I just think that he would be able to win this with no problems.
Yeah, that was a really rough engagement. Getting caught on siege is almost always very rough on the Terran player.
There's a drop, there's a giga drop, a triple drop on its way, and it gets caught. And will it deal enough damage? No, there's a Colossi in the base. He has to be careful not to lose that Colossi due to stemmed units, but it seems he's dealing with it just fine. And 2 medivacs get away, because we always have a soft spot in our hearts for these pretty ladies that fly the medivacs. We don't want to target them first. And now, wow, what prediction skills Showtime is showing. And even though it sounds weird, he moved straight to his third because he felt this is where GoOdy will be trying to attack me once he dropped my main.
Yep, really nice Really nice defense there by Showtime. Showtime has shown like really great defense to all of this, all of these attacks, pretty much for the whole series. Just really great. Many lesser players would not be able to handle what Goody is dishing out right now.
Yeah, and it seems, you know, in this game Showtime has a lead, 94 army supply, which is bigger than Goody's, and also I imagine he's ahead in upgrades, and of course he is not. For the first time in the series, Showtime is not ahead in upgrades. That's just because the Colossi has crossed them up, mate. That's...
Oh, so the cross-eye colossed
Yeah.
to the map actually is what he did, and that is why there aren't so many upgrades for Protoss. Very good. We've come full circle.
Showtime is splitting his
Wow.
army. I think that was a misclick. He's trying to save his Colossi and he manages to at an expense of only one single stalker, and this is not a very good place to engage with the Terran's army, and he loses that Colossi after all. Not very good, but still looking very heavy and solid with 4 remaining Colossi, and the Vikings get caught. It's you know, a couple of force fields now, and the Terran would be smashed to the ground, but
Running him
then...
into this choke, and the force fields come down. Really nice positioning.
Wow!
Blink forward. Don't know about that move particularly, but the Colossus are staying alive. They're dealing their damage. More force fields are dropping down.
And
This is and the storm.
Yes!
Seal the deal on this battle.
Yeah, and Goody is pretty much down on all of his force, and GG's out of this game. So Showtime, maybe not back in the series as of yet, but on his way to at least even this out. So Goody is only one victory away of winning this, and Showtime still has a lot of games to go through. 3 more victories for him if he wants to take the show match. Goody only 1 game, but Showtime has shown. I feel like I'm repeating myself constantly when I commentate on Showtime, but hey, so he's just showing some claws in this game, and that's so good.
That's absolutely great.
All right, guys. So we'll be having a probably 2-minute break. So I wanted to remind you, as in between all of the games, that I strongly encourage you to subscribe to us. There's a subscribe button or a follow button, despite the fact where you're watching this, below this video, and if you do that, then you may just win a copy of Heart of the Swarm, because we'll be giving them out left and right, guys, after the game launches. During the first week we plan to give away at least a dozen of them. Then also, if you leave a comment on Team Liquid, you enter the pool of people who will be may get lucky and get a copy of Heart of the Swarm too. So we'll be really giving out copies of Heart of the Swarm everywhere. And if you follow us, if you leave a comment, leave your feedback in one of our threads, that's it. That's all you need to do in order to get a chance, get a shot on winning Heart of the Swarm copy. So sweet. That's all because we love you so much. Let's not forget about the kisses too.
I mean, we don't want to forget about those. A very important part.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for me personally, if someone would say you are able to win a kiss as opposed to a game, I would say, yeah, the kiss is more important. The emotions are more important than games. But, you know, we're a bunch of geeks, so who cares about emotions? I can imagine. This is why it doesn't work for us when we try to have girlfriends. You know, when she talks to you and she says, "Oh, George, I love you. I don't care. Give me a game for my birthday."
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't personally. That's not my style. I mean, but everyone's got their own style, and that's I respect everyone else's style. If that's how you feel.
I just felt that was the aspect of my first 5 marriages that didn't work out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate.
If you're watching this on YouTube, you can safely skip 2 minutes ahead in time because you are a time traveler when you're watching the videos. And if you're watching this live, just go on and grab a cup of coffee or something like that.
I mean, at this point in time, let's imagine if everyone drank 1 cup of coffee for every break so far. I mean,
yeah,
they
everyone
must
will be
feeling
sitting
very
like this.
excited.
Give us the next game. I can handle the pressure.
they might have to start doing something else to calm down. I mean, they're just kind of like jittering all over the place,
Just beating their
"Oh, God,
heads
I
with
need-
the keyboard. The next game.
I need the next game. Give me more games. I need them now.
Why did you
Video
tell me to
games.
drink so much coffee? And after the finals, GG, and you take up your monitor and you smash it on your head like through a
Oh
painting.
my God.
Blah! Now I feel satisfied.
Well, you know, I mean, there are people who play that way, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I
Everyone's
still remember that video of a German kid that has gone all amok after he has lost a game of Unreal Tournament, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, we're in the lobby right now. Did you see that video of the angry German kid?
I have not. So, you're gonna have to send it to me
So he
after the show
literally
so I can look at
beat
it.
his keyboard on his desk and all of the keys fallen out, and he was screaming all around, beating his monitor. All sorts of weird stuff happened in this video.
Oh, was it real or did he stage it?
No,
did
it
he
was
act
real.
up?
He wasn't aware that his webcam was on, and
Oh wow.
yeah. So I saw it back in the days where the internet was not so much popular yet, and videos like that traversed the world on CDs or on floppy drives. So it was very poor quality. I'm sure it's somewhere on the internet now, but it was a very poor quality, and still it was amusing like hell. You remember the days where you wanted to send a song to your friend, and oh yeah, I've heard this song from Madonna recently, it's so good, have 5 floppy drives and I copied it there for you.
I actually never transferred songs on computers until CDs were out, but I played quite a few games that were on floppy drives.
Oh yeah. Did you have an Amiga or Commodore?
I don't remember exactly what it was because I was very young. I just knew that the Wolfenstein disc was the gray one, and I put it in the slot to play it. That is what I remember.
All right. Maybe it was Nintendo, Super Nintendo, perhaps.
Oh no, it was a computer.
Okay.
It was definitely a computer. Yeah. Did you play Wolfenstein at all?
Oh yeah, I'm not really able to talk about this right now. Because we have a guy, GoOdy from one of the countries involved in Wolfenstein, if you know what I mean. And that game is banned in that specific country, which is Germany, by the way. And,
I would imagine that.
Yeah, but shooting Nazis, funnest thing of all. Yeah, anyway, so let's get back to the game itself. Shooting Nazis is always fun, but we are now in the 21st centuries and we shoot Zergs, Protosses or Terrans, despite, it depends on the race you're playing. And this is StarCraft 2, not Wolfenstein. Do you imagine a Wolfenstein RTS? That would be hilarious. But anyway, here spawning the left side of the map, it is Showtime from the team ESC.
And on the right side of the map, we also have from Team ESC, GoOdy.
Yeah, that's...
And one more game. He's on the edge again. Is this the point where he slips over and falls and Showtime comes back to win it?
Maybe, but then I really see GoOdy's strong position, and with so many different styles of play he displayed in the past 6 games, I think that he should be able to take, maybe not this specific game, but take the series anyway.
Yeah, and he's opening with the Reaper again. This map particularly has this really nice area for the Reaper to come in, as well as really easy to turtle up on 2 bases,
Oh,
which
did you
Goody
notice
has
that
doing quite a bit.
This is exactly the sign here on the map that you show above the revealed units after you use Revelation with your Oracle? I haven't noticed that earlier.
I didn't notice that at all, but it is.
Yeah,
So this is a
it
Protoss
is.
map, technically.
Yeah, technically.
Technically
Then
speaking.
Goody is harassing with that one fancy Reaper. It doesn't do all
Gets
that
a kill.
much damage, has 2 kills, which is
Ooh, 2
more
kills.
than an average on a Reaper. I wonder why people haven't started playing yet with 2 Reapers. Now, Reapers were intended as a harassment unit, but then if you give them too much damage, people don't use them because they are too expensive and they come too late. Now they changed that in Heart of the Swarm. They come earlier at the cost of their power. And I imagine people could be going for 2 or 3 Reapers to start the game with. I can easily imagine players like MMA or MVP exploiting their multitasking and just attacking with a single Reaper from each side and microing them separately.
Absolutely. The Reaper, though, so good at just running around into the base, getting all the scouting information necessary to getting some damage and getting out. It's just Goody is in the perfect position. He knows exactly what's going on. He says, okay, these are the things that I saw on the base. He likely counted how many pylons he saw, and so he's going to have a very clear direction as to where he's going to go.
And again, we're seeing Widow Mines, which is not at all surprising. The Terrans, once the last Widow Mines were live, I remember a lot of Terran players were saying, yeah, Widow Mines are crap now, who would be using them? And over the last month, we've seen that the Widow Mine, even though it didn't have any major changes, has become oh so popular, and everyone wants one in their army.
I want one in my army, and I'm a
Yeah.
Protoss player, you know? I mean, that's how wanted the Widow Mine is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd hire a Widow Mine for 75 minerals and 25 cash. I think it's a reasonable price.
Do you have, enough minerals and gas in your bank account?
I do, but it's just, you know, the Widow Mine has a really great job at the Terran Corporation right now and doesn't want to leave it, despite the fact I offered it a minerals raise. I said, I'll pay you 100 minerals if you get into my army, but no.
I wouldn't.
They
fit
still
in
said
your
no.
Team. Yeah. I don't like these guys with the psionic blades on their arms. They just look not too much in my style.
Yeah,
But anyway, we have good old Hellion harassment. No Hellbats, which is not a surprise because Hellbats are no longer such a powerful beasts in the early game. But good old Hellions doing some damage, and namely 6 worker kills, which I would say 4 worker kills because that's -2 that the Reaper did. And that's kind of okay. That's good enough.
Yeah, he's coming in, making little attacks here and there. He's pushing forward his advantage. Proxy Pylon coming down in the 3rd, so that's going to serve 2 purposes. He'll know when his opponent is trying to take that 3rd, and he'll have a place to warp in from. It looks like he's moving out with his force. He's going to make a little bit of a pressure move here.
And
And catches the Widow Mine.
yeah. Oh,
Very
that
nice.
small persistent bugger just got caught. Not very funny. By the way, I really enjoyed the fact they carry on a helmet, sort of a helmet with a lighter on it. That looks just hilarious. And Showtime is preparing for an attack. Now, is he aware of that Widow Mine here? Oh, and a very smart Widow Mine placement. So Goody is thinking, okay, if he manages to get past my bunker, he will target the siege tanks, and this is where my Widow Mine will catch him. Very
Yep,
smart
siege
placement.
tanks and Widow Mines work really, really well together. Very much like the spider mines and tanks of old.
But Showtime is going back to his own base with the Mothership Corps, probably for defensive purposes. So this army here is just for display. This probably isn't going to attack anytime soon. It's just showing off, hey, I've got such a big muscles. I've been training and practicing and producing units all day long. Try to match my strength.
And yeah, so setting up sort of a contain, but he's going to be leaving that now, and the drop is coming around. A lot of airspace on this map, and that's true of most Blizzard maps. There's a lot of airspace.
Wow! Showtime has saw with the observer that there's a drop coming, and he goes right there to intercept it.
Oh my
What a
God.
good move! That was a great read, and he thought, okay, he'll be going this direction. I probably will catch him, and he did. Such a great save.
Wow, yep, perfect timing, plans it out. He said, okay, It should be going over this area at this time, and I'll be able to get there at that moment in time, and poof, nailed it.
Yeah. Just
Very nice.
went poof and disappeared in a cloud of smoke and flames.
Gathering the forces together again. Making maybe a move into the middle. It's just sort of this weird area. He's just sort of hang out at what he thinks maybe will be the third. Maybe he's trying to catch these Hellions. Maybe he knows.
Yeah, this one had nitro, so he just, you know, escaped. Now, what I'm really curious about is Showtime's style with only one upgrade. The second forge doesn't cost you really that much, and as you remember, some time ago, the upgrade costs for the Protosses have been lowered to encourage more upgrade play, but hey. Anyway, we have a little bit of nice harassment, but now the turret is done, so sorry Grigori, and you'll not be able to get anything from this high ground advantage. But anyway, back to my original point, 2 forges, not too expensive, 2 upgrades at the same time, also not too expensive. You can wait if you want, but I just prefer players who go for 2 upgrades at the same time as a Protoss. That's kind of mandatory against Terran, I would say.
Yeah, it's a very strong style. Creator popularized it a long time ago, and he is going for that second forge just a little bit later. He's got the blink ready to go, and he doesn't look like he's making any sort of big moves in. Just a lot of posturing in the middle of the map. We have another drop with, oh look at this, 1 Hellbat and 2 Hellions coming around from the south.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, okay, let's see how that works. Now, what I wanted to say is I love how this game, Showtime has the full control of the map. He basically sees everything that's going to happen. Before it even happens, or even before GoOdy thinks about doing it. And GoOdy is very much limited. He only sees what he harasses with. So the Hellion here, he sees with his drop. But the full control of the map belongs to Showtime, and that's so strong.
Yeah, and he's got the Observer on patrol, and he sees this drop in coming. No units anywhere near, though.
Oh, and using the boost.
And it looks like he didn't notice. He's not running away as workers.
Uh-oh.
He's going to take... Wow, he's going to take a lot of hits from this. Oh, and they're all lining up. One more hit is going to deal a lot of damage.
Holy smokes, not the way I have planned it. I think GoOdy is right now very much happy with himself. And by the way, Showtime is revealing Blink, which GoOdy wasn't aware of previously, and this kind of puts Showtime on spot. Now Showtime still has the initiative, but I feel he has to do something about it. Otherwise, GoOdy will just, you know, siege up, tech up, mech up, and go out.
Yeah, big economic advantage right now for GoOdy. He's got the workers up, he's got his mules up, and going across the map is the Blink Stalker plus Sentry Force, it looks like. That's all. It's no zealots, not a zealot in sight.
And another drop on its way with 2 Hellbats inside. They have big mama asses, so they take 4 cargo spaces instead of 2, what they used to take before. And Showtime just sees, okay, this is what's happening. I have Blink Stalkers, I have high ground vision, so why not? And he targets the Marines as they target the debris, and that's so good. And oh my god, the Hellbats are landing in the middle line, and again Showtime, not paying enough attention, loses a lot of his workers. His total of 20 workers lost, and he backs away with all of his army, despite the fact that he was preparing for some form of a harassment.
Yeah, and GoOdy is just out of the range of that Dark Shrine now. He still hasn't seen it yet. Oh, but it looks like he grabs just the corner of the Dark Shrine before he leaves, so he knows the DTs, or at least if he was looking and he managed to click on that, he would know that the DTs were out. The way that you tell that, by the way, is the HP bar. On a pylon, the HP bar is lower when it's warping in, and on a DT Shrine, the HP bar is higher up. You can see that with the pylon and DT Shrine next to each other, so you don't actually have to click on it to know.
Wow, nice. Good to know.
For all of you who are worried about DTs.
This command center has been taken down, and GoOdy has such a strong foothold in this game. He has already his tech force that he's very comfortable, mech force that he's very comfortable with, and oh, I think Showtime has just been a little bit too overzealous with his stalkers and has lost a lot of them unnecessarily.
Yep, and we have the drop coming back around with a 23 hit point medevac.
Yeah, I'm Ahmed. I'm a suicide bomber, and I'm going to bomb your base to pieces.
Yeah, I don't know how well it's gonna work out. 23 hit points. Got 3 stalkers there. That'll kill it with one shot
Ahmed,
each.
Your plane has only one wing. I don't care. Just well, let's see how it works. I already see these stalkers just picking it off like a fly with a piece of.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
and done.
It's done. So
he's gonna try to take
that
out this command center, but the tanks are coming in.
Oh,
Forces the cancel and blinks out.
It got
Loses
ugly.
a couple of stalkers though. Keeps delaying this base.
But delaying your base is one thing, losing so many stalkers in the attempt is the other. I would say that, you know, losing a couple of zealots would be okay, but then you're trading gas against minerals and you only manage to force off a cancel. Not so good.
Yep, not exactly the greatest trade that time.
But
100 minerals for a couple of stalkers is not very good.
GoOdy has grew impatient and right now is moving out with his army. All these stalkers are getting burned, pretty much burned, yeah. They're getting barbecued on their way back to the base. A lot of nice tan on their skins, even though it's
see
metal.
a cancel over here. Is he gonna cancel it? The cancel should be coming down pretty soon, and he's gonna try to hold it. I really don't think this is the best decision as it falls down pretty much instantly. It looks like he couldn't get there in time to get the cancel. More upgrades on the way, and he's got his Tempest Void Ray army up.
Well, will it be enough though? A lot of Vikings here being prepared, and we have a bunch of stalkers now. The Void Rays are charged up, so they will be a killer force. Now the question is there enough? And the siege tanks just soak up enough damage to keep the Vikings alive, and the Vikings managed to clear off the Air Force, and I think Air Force 1 has just became Air Force 0. I'm sorry, we're gone back in time. There is no Sky Force, and GG, well, congratulations, says Showtime, and GoOdy has claimed this show match as his own. He just planted a flag straight into my desk because I'm the main organizer here, and I claim this land in the name of Her Majesty Angela Merkel. That's how it would look like if Germans would have any British background, but they don't. So so anyway, guys, casting this has been a blast, and this has been a very good series, best of 9, and GoOdy wins 5-2, 5-2 or 5-2, whatever way you prefer it. Remember to go to Team Liquid and leave a comment. You may get a chance of winning a copy of Heart of the Swarm. We have a bunch of them just for you, and also just you know, follow us on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube. You have all the links necessary there. You can find VODs of everything, single thing that we do. And before too many of you disappear, I just wanted to remind you that with me casting today was the Jack Attack, and he's also a guy that's running a show that teaches people how to play StarCraft. So if you're new to the game, he is the guy you should go to and try to learn how to grasp this game. Isn't that right?
That is very, very flattering. Yeah, we're working on new ways to learn StarCraft other than the just learn one build and play it over and over again method. So if you're bored with that and you want to try something new, you can head over to the stream, twitch.tv/theJackAttack, and we'll see you at 5 p.m. PST.
Exactly right. So anyway, head to Jack Attack and subscribe us, win a copy of Heart of the Swarm, and we will all be happy people. I nearly knocked a glass full of water straight on my keyboard, but hey, that's life. Hopefully none of these things will happen to me. And water is not the worst thing that can be spilled on your keyboard, by the way. My friend has spilled a full glass of wine on his laptop. Keyboard you can replace. A laptop, yeah. So it took the 4 of us 1 full day, like 8 or 9 hours of desperate cleaning to get that laptop back live. And we managed to. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, well
so
done.
The keys have remained sticky, so whenever he was typing, the keys usually got stuck. So it wasn't a very functional keyboard that he managed to retain from that story, but we have used a lot of alcohol to clear out any stickiness from the places we could reach, and we have basically taken that laptop apart piece by piece, so there was no screw that wasn't unscrewed that day. No.
That is pretty intense.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just a story from the university. Things like that happen. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did, and see you later when the Heart of the Swarm releases. At the day of the launch, we'll be doing something very special for you, and you can see a lot of Jack Attack and me back then. So see you later. Bye bye.
See ya.